about 2 hours away from saying to 2020, How's everybody doing tonight? Don Tony here, and I don't know what we're calling this tonight. Just a little live chat. Raining in the new year. We're pretty much stuck at home because of COVID and all this other nonsense going on. So I want to thank you all for hanging out for a little bit tonight. Big shout out to everybody who's live right now. I want to give a couple of shout outs right off the bat. Neil Ray, Michael Gonzalez, Big T, Austin Nance, Miles Campbell, Mystery Man, Eddie Valentino, Jody Moncrief, Sterling, 80 Right Wing, Chaos I know was around a little bit earlier, Sam I Am, and David DeLuca, who shouted out all the way from Italy. We had some people earlier from France, South Africa, the UK, Abu Dhabi. I love it. I love it. Hope everybody is doing good this evening. I tell you, I don't have anything in front of me planned, although I will admit, because obviously today's show is just regular discussion, whatever you guys and gals want to talk about, that's what I'm here for. You see the little countdown clock? Well, yeah, see that countdown clock? We got that. I was messing around with the computer a little bit earlier, and we actually have some live fireworks going on right now in New York City. So they should be picking up. This is live right now. I have a couple of streams. That's Times Square right now. Oh, look at that. Oh, I thought that was wrestling for a minute. They look like Marky Mark. What is that? Come on, man. You mean I got to open up this show looking at this garbage? What is that? I thought that was wrestling for a second. That's Times Square right now. Get the hell out of here. There's Hong Kong. You know, I got a couple of, look, this is the first time I'm ever simulcasting like live video. I can't play the audio because if they have copyrighted music in the background, yours truly will have some problems. Believe it or not, that's Hong Kong right now, even though you see Disneyland. So what else do we got over here? Yeah, there's some fireworks. This is New York City right now, New York City. So, yeah, you look. I want Thursdays to be a show. I don't want to compare it to Seinfeld, but much ado about nothing. You know, just whatever you want to talk about. You could be wrestling, it could be baseball, it could be life, it could be about politics, it could be about food. This is not anything formatted. And if you guys, because so many of you out there have been giving me such great feedback about the shows. You know, this YouTube channel has only been around for about 11 months, and I never in a million years ever expected it to be as big as it has already. And we've only touched the surface. I'm not kidding when I say this. I thought Monday's show, even though it's sad because of the passing of Brody Lee, I thought Monday's show was my favorite show of the year. And I really think it turned a corner as far as content, eliminating the outside noise, just trying to have a good time and not, you know, just get bogged down with all the negativity out there. There's more than that already. And shout out to Dahak. What's up, my brother? Yeah, Lex. I think we got the Green Giant.
Ho, ho, ho. Green Giant.
You know, I actually, I don't remember who said it to me, but for Kyle O'Reilly, told me that I should do the O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly. I have that queued. Problem is, I don't have my grid in front of me, so I don't know what sound bites or what. I mean, I could look it up. So, but yeah, shout out to you, my friend. Shout out to everybody. Puffy89. Yeah, you know, right now, Puffy, I got my Captain Lou Albano Bulletproof Coffee. I had to show you pictures of it. So I have, because I'm on the keto diet, I got some almond tea cookies. Believe it or not, they actually look pretty good. They taste really, really good too. And this is the best, man. Dieting was never so good. This is Quest cookies. Look at this son of a bitch. There's no sugar. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, I get to eat. I get to drink coffee and chat with all of you. No format, whatever you want to talk about, whatever's on your mind, that's what I'm here for. And I think, obviously, it's going to take a few weeks, maybe a month or two, to really get the show where we want it to be. But I tell you, I'm really excited. I know some of you out there are a little concerned, saying that, DT, you might burn yourself out a little bit. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because when you have fun, it doesn't feel like work. And that's true. And, this is the thing that is a benefit from doing your own stuff. I brought that up before. So many of you have asked me advice about podcasting, whether it's audio or video and this and that. But the one thing I've always said, going back to 1997, is learn everything so you don't have to depend on no one. Accepting people's help is always good. But the point is, when you get into that repetition, there's still people to this day. I'll tell you something funny. It's not to throw shade on anybody, but you'll get a kick out of this. Anybody especially does shows will get a kick out of this. Last Thursday, I was not around and was not able to record Kevin Castle's Patreon show. So someone else did it, and someone who has a podcast. All right, he doesn't like me very much, but that's cool. As long as it's not my significant other inside, or my parents, or some of you out there, people don't like me. Hey, it is what it is. But so he records the podcast, and I was very grateful for that. I honestly was. So thinking this guy does his own podcast, records his own stuff, I'm like, hey, cool. Send me the link, for the show. And the next, actually 2 days later, because I was away for Christmas, when I get back to Queens, where I live, I'll put the show up. So after the show was done, I sent him a link. I said, okay, email me the show here. And he's like, how do I send it to you? And I said, well, you got to upload it to a server and then send me the link, and I'll download the audio and I'll put it online. 4 days later, I got no audio. And you got patrons a little nervous. Hey, where's the show? Where's the show? Where's the show? Do you know that this person thought that he could email me in an email attachment, 125 megabyte file? And this is someone who does his own podcast. So my point is, you learn everything yourself. This way, number one, you don't have to rely on anybody. But number two, when you do it over and over and over again for years and years and years, it's like riding a bicycle. I see people that do shows that's just audio only, and it takes them 3-4 days to put it online. Now, Mish takes about a day because he does awesome editing. That man is so meticulous with his editing. But, me, I try to have the shows online 10 minutes after. So, but God bless you, Neil Ray. God bless all of you out there. Shout out to Roger Rubio. What's going on, Roger? Listen, and I swear to you, you should know me by now. I tell it like it is. It pisses off a lot of people, but I don't pander either. He's thanking me for helping him get through 2020. I really mean this from the bottom of my heart. I got to thank you all, because 2020 was a very difficult year for all of us. Yes, I tried to laugh as much as possible. Yes, I tried to smile as much as possible. Some people accused me of becoming politically correct. Some people accused me of being fake. And, I tried my hardest to take 2020 and, like I said earlier this week, take chicken shit, a whole barrel of chicken shit, and turn it into chicken salad. And I swear to you, this is no pandering, no BS. I could not have been able to do all the stuff that went down in 2020 without all of you out there. Seriously. I see how toxic social media is. I see how toxic YouTube is. One of my New Year's, not resolutions, one of my New Year's obligations is to stay off social media as much as possible. As much as possible. But I see more and more of you out there sending me emails, DMs, because even when you just thank me for something, and I see it on YouTube, and like I said on Wednesday, I try to delete those trolls before it ever crosses your eyes. And every couple of hours, I go on there and I see what's going on. I get any jerk-offs. You know, I'll take a little criticism here and there. I'll take some jokes. Somebody said, and I left it up there, somebody said that, you know, my fiance is an illegal alien, that I met her, she's a cleaning lady or somewhere. You know, that's the best you could do. You know, I'll leave it up there so everybody could laugh at you. But the thing is, so many of you send me honest criticism, opinions, advice, suggestions, what you like, what you dislike. And not only that, you know, people across the board telling me all of the situations going on. Some of you out there who did get COVID, some of you who lost family members because of COVID, some of you out there that lost a paycheck and legitimately tried to find some type of comparable work and couldn't. You know, there's a big difference between trying and not succeeding than not trying at all. You know, there's nothing wrong with going for something. And if you don't get it, if you fail, if you take a step backwards, there's nothing wrong with that. Makes you stronger in the end. But I swear to you, when I kicked off this channel, I think it was January 22nd, it was exciting at first, but there was a lot of mixed messages going on. You know, there's a lot of two-face going on for a lot of people. And it was really, really confusing, and it was frustrating too. But early on, I just decided, you know what? I'm going to use that as a positive, and I'm going to feed off of that as much as possible. I was going to be the virus to them. I mean, I was COVID to some podcasters out there. The more they tried to infiltrate, the more I decided, you know, I'm going to spread it. And, you know, it was not fun early on. And it became, you know, really, really, you know, just a challenge of trying to have fun, try to put all the work, trying to learn everything first time. I go back to February, and you remember all those shows where the audio went out, or there'd be crazy buffering, or I'd lose a connection, and you'd see the sweat pouring down on my face. Nothing has changed in this room. In fact, I got more lights now than I did before. I don't sweat too much now because a lot of it is, you know, getting easier. But I can't thank you enough for all of your support. You truly, truly, truly want, I know I say this 1,000 times, but you truly are molding this channel, not only what I want it to be, but what you want it to be as well. I can't thank you enough, man. I can't thank you enough. Happy New Year to all of you. You know, I'm going to start answering some of your questions, super chat and none. I don't want anybody to feel like you gotta, you know, but let me just say one thing about 2021. And I think this is probably the serious thing, the serious piece of advice I could give you tonight on this show. I've been guilty of it many times over the years. There's so many people out there that think the minute 2020 is over, 2021 makes things better. That, you know what, 2020, the hell with you, get out of here, adios, goodbye. The minute the clock strikes midnight, 2020 is a distant memory. And now we try to make the best out of 2021. And the fact of the matter is, and I'm not trying to bring anybody down, but you got to be prepared for this. 2021 is only, later tonight is only an hour difference than what it was when it was 2020. COVID is still going to be the same. The economy is still going to be the same. Situations with, you know, states and countries and lockdowns is still going to be the same. You know, you have to look at the beginning of 2021 the same way you did in 2020. You just got to keep your head up, stay strong, and know that things will get better. It has to get better. You know, when I see on the news, and you know I have changed a lot of my views over the years. I mean, I think people are blown away the most about me agreeing a lot with Colin Kaepernick now about kneeling. Never in a million years did I ever think that I would actually agree. But you learn, you listen. A lot of you out there have talked to me as well, and you know, but the thing is that you have to just be strong, and you really have to make the best out of a situation. And you know, you look at the history of this world. You know, when they were saying like, oh, Trump wants to go back to the 50s. Now, remember, I didn't vote for Trump this year. So for people out there that still are in the ancient years thinking that I'm a gigantic Trump supporter, that's not pretty much the case anymore. I've stayed away from politics for about 6 or 7 months now. I keep up to see what's going on and everything, but I stay away from it. To me, they could all drop dead, to be honest with you. I mean, you see them giving millions and billions to countries, and you got people in this country literally begging for some type of crumbs, like Nancy Pelosi said a long time ago, crumbs. And these people are just, they just don't care. They only care about themselves, and they only care about power. That's why I made a decision early this year that I was going to be selfish and only care about myself, my inner circle, obviously, and I carried that into 2021. You know, worry about yourselves, stay strong. There's never been a time in this country or in this world where we took tremendous steps backward as far as evolving. Anybody out there that's gay, you know the stories from the 70s and the marches in the Greenwich Village and everything like that. Look how far we've come with that. As far as mixed marriages, look how far we've come with that. When you see, just transgender, it's not where it should be. And it's going to take a very long time for where it should be. But when you look at it from then to now, we have progressed, we have evolved. And I truly believe that you worry about yourself, you treat the people around you like you want to be treated. You're not going to get it in return. There's been so many people that I have gone bent over backwards for over the years. And ultimately you get this in the end. And then when you have to pull back and you have to start doing things for yourself and you can't give as much as you give to people in the past, you're the bad guy. So anyway, once January 1st hits, enjoy it. Try to think of 2020 as a dumpster fire, bad memory, but understand that there is no magic, pill out there that January 1st comes and everything will be better. Keep your eye on hope. Hope is the biggest element right now that'll get us through it. We'll get through it. I'm telling you, we'll get through it. We will get through it, without a doubt. Mighty, mighty, the difference between 80s and 2000s wrestling. Well, social media, internet is the biggest thing. You never had wrestlers mingle with fans like they do now. Maybe you got an autograph here and there. Maybe you saw someone in an airport. You would stand backstage outside of the arena hoping to get a glimpse of somebody when they walk by. But the business was so protected at that time. You didn't have baby faces and heels hang out together. They couldn't be seen in public together. I always tell a story when my uncle, God rest his soul, used to work for WWF in the 80s. And that one time I broke my arm and went out to dinner. And it was Bob Backlund, the Samoans, and a few other people. And even at that time, I never thought about it until I got much older. I said, wow, I was part of a very, very rare situation at that time. Yes, it's rare to be able to have dinner with some of the wrestlers that look larger than life, but what was rare about it is Backlund was the quintessential babyface at that time. The Samoans were monster heels, and yet they actually ate in public. So, it obviously that inner circle, just being so, the wrestlers were shut out from the world. for the most part. That's the number one difference. Once Vince McMahon, and I look, don't quote me on this. There's a lot of other incidentals that have to fill in the blank too. But, one of the things that Vince did long time ago, if I remember correctly, that he told, I think it was Jersey, that they were sports entertainment to avoid some type of taxes. I mean, that's the earliest memory I have as far as wrestling technically publicly saying, oh, and by the way, I have my phones with me, so I'm going to be getting a lot of text messages wishing me Merry Christmas. At midnight, I will have to call my parents to wish them Merry Christmas. And yes, she has agreed to come in here, and we will have a little champagne toast with all of you out there at midnight. So she'll come in here and say hi. But she's very shy, so she'll probably wave and leave the room. So, getting back to what I was saying before, so that was my earliest memory of wrestling publicly saying that they were entertainment. If you go on my channel, I posted clips that I recorded from my own VHS back in the mid-'80s. And you had all these news programs. This was right around the time that Dr. D had that incident with John Stossel. It's even covered on one of the things I taped off of TV at that time. And they were trying to expose the business. All these TV stations, Entertainment Tonight, WOR9, and all they would say is, wrestling is fake. It's fake. It's fake. It's fake. It's fake. That was the F word. That was the word that they would use. Fake. 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 That's all you heard. So shout out to John. Thank you very much, my friend. I will catch up on the shout outs in a moment. But anyway, the biggest point differences between 80s wrestling and today is, the internet, that wrestling publicly will tell you all the time that it's a form of entertainment, obviously. But, another thing as well is just the action, the high flying. And the Monday Night Wars, really made that full blown. It's very rare that you get jobber matches anymore. Yes, you have squash matches, but even the opponent, 9 times out of 10 is somebody who is on the regular roster. So it's completely different. I mean, I do miss the 80s for one reason, not just my youth, but I miss the innocence with wrestling. You depended on the magazines more than anything else. I learned about the wrestling hotlines later on, and I would call like Coach Kirk and others. And then sure enough, 1997, I start my own wrestling hotline, and here I am today. So shout out to Jason Henry. Happy New Year, my friend. Hope you're doing well. I just, I can't say it enough. 2020 sucked. 2020 sucked for everybody. We were all affected, whether it was physically, emotionally, financially, a combination thereof. Family members, friends, affected in many ways. It affected us all. It's just what you did with it. That's really what it comes down to. And that's why, like I say, one of my New Year's obligations is to stay off social media as much as possible, because how dare people out there? How dare people? Because a lot of you out there went out and tried to make the situation as good as possible. You worked your ass off. Maybe you worked extra hours. Maybe you worked 2 jobs. Maybe you took a job that you would find so beneath you, but you took it because you had bills, you have relationships, you have families, whatever your situation is, you have school, and you take those opportunities and you get by, and people, they spit on you because you got by and they didn't. We're in a weird time, man. But you know what? Trust me when I tell you, if I have to start giving out prizes every time it comes out of my mouth, I will. All right? And yes, we'll give out prizes. But I was looking for the Baron Corbin cards. I put them inside. But I promise you, January 1, 2021, that noise is gone. It's like a big nuclear explosion happened, and they all perished. Seriously. It'll be just, it's like, you know, those spinners you do on New Year's? You don't use them after New Year's. You kind of put them in the closet. You don't think about them for 364 days. That's what we do with the outside noise. Seriously. Some people are going to be in for a rude awakening in 2021. And you know what? We're all going to be smiling and having fun, and they'll be bitter bitches. So, 90s guy, Happy New Year to you, my friend. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. The shows were fun. The shows were fun. I mean, you know, it's been a blast. It's been a blast. I never in a million years thought that I would end up doing shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, most weekends at least one day, and now we're adding a Thursday, and who knows if we do one on the weekend going forward. It's been a blast. It's been awesome. I absolutely love it, and I thank you all for standing by me. Because I don't deny it. There's been times this year that if I was one of you out there, I would have been like, man, the hell with this guy, man. You know, it's just got to stay focused. You got to stay focused. So, Dahak, do I think the potted plant, a.k.a. cactus, should be the leader of retribution? Wait, the potted plant, cactus. Don't super chat this, but what do you mean cactus? The potted plant. The potted plant, wait, wasn't the potted plant Angie? Wasn't, chat room, help me with this one, because if I remember correctly, didn't I say yeah, Angie. Wait, you want Angie to be the leader of retribution? That's what you super chatted? Angie being the leader of retribution? Oh my God, could you, could you imagine that? Seriously, man, I have no problem with the Mysterios on TV, but I don't understand what the purpose was with that. You know, I understand they want to do something with Aaliyah and Murphy. And by the way, have you noticed how much they pulled back on that storyline? Are they just waiting for Seth Rollins to come back? Because it feels like they have dramatically pulled back on that storyline. And yes, we have the Royal Rumble. Yes, it's the road to WrestleMania. But man, I mean, talk about a storyline. They moved it. They traded it from Raw to SmackDown. And it's like they stopped at a rest area and forgot, you know, where SmackDown was. They have done very, very little. Very little. But, you know, the problem with this is it's got to come to some odd conclusion. I still think Aaliyah is either going to get married in storyline or get pregnant in storyline. And honestly, I never really liked any pregnancy angles. The only one I liked is when Beulah revealed she was pregnant and Tommy Dreamer was the father, only because they just beat the fuck out of each other and everything. But, you know, it ended up that, you know, she wasn't pregnant. But all these, I mean, Mae Young with the miscarriage, you know, Lita, Snitsky, Kane. But Angie as the leader of Retribution, I still don't understand why she was on television. I understand if she's backstage, you know, and she's just there supporting her family. But, you know, talk about a goof. When her husband's eye gets ripped out in storyline. You know, I think people forget this, that his eye gets popped out in the storyline, ripped out of its socket, and the best she could do is get a Singapore cane and hit, I think, Murphy or Rollins like it was a piñata. I would have ripped a different ball out of its socket if I was Angie. That storyline was so dumb, man. It was so dumb. And I tell you, it almost feels like this Fiend, Randy Orton, you know, Alexa Bliss storyline is falling into the same direction. That's why you're seeing teasers of the Fiend already coming back, because it's quickly. I mean, you went from, in 1 week, you went from Alexa Bliss swinging on the swing, talking about how the Fiend's favorite food is barbecue. And then she's pouring gasoline over her head, telling Randy, burn me, you bitch. Oh, in 1 week, That's almost as bad as the inner circle partying in Vegas 2 weeks earlier, 2 weeks later. If we don't get along, we're splitting up. That's like a weird relationship. I mean, that's like having a new, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever floats your boat. And you go away and brand new relationship. And then 2 weeks later, you're like, if we don't get along, that's it. It's over. It's just, some of these storylines have been really, really shitty. Really shitty. I don't want to see the potted plant on my television anymore. All right, Puffy. Which one you got for me now? Buck, marry, kill. Y2K, the main calendar, 2012 or 2020. Now, can the calendars be Playboy calendars? Can they be Playboy calendars? Because I don't know, do you take this calendar? I know what you're saying. Like, what year would I love to just attack? And then what year, if I was forced to stay in it the whole year, I'm making it PG rated. What year, if I was forced to stay in a whole year, that I would do it? And then what year would I just say, fuck this, fuck this? Penthouse calendars. Okay, penthouse calendars. I'm having an almond biscotti. I'm sorry for eating on the show, but I didn't have a great dinner tonight. I was preparing. I was kind of sweating. By the way, you want me to leave these fireworks on? Or you want me to take them off? That's Times Square. Oh, thank God. We don't have these hip-hop morons anymore. What is that? The hell is that? I don't know what the hell that is. That's Hong Kong. Should I leave it up there? Or should we take it off? Let me know. Leave it on? All right, we'll leave it on. All right, we'll leave it on. By the way, let me answer his first. Then I'm going to show you something. You get a kick out of it. Y2K was not a bad year for me. I know there was all that concern about the computers and the banks and everything getting all screwed up and terrorism and this and that. And remember, that's before 9/11. But I tell you, 99 was a pretty damn good year. 2000 was as well, especially as a wrestling fan. I mean, think about 2000. As a wrestling fan, you got Nitro still, not as good as what it used to be. You had Raw, Attitude Era, Monday Night Wars, ECW was still around. I was working for ECW, pushing tickets. So honestly, out of those three, I would marry 2000. I'd crazy glue it to my head. I loved the year 2000. Wasn't my favorite year, but I loved the year 2000. So now we have just to screw with a little bit and absolutely kill. I would screw with 2012 because 2012 was not that bad of a year either. I mean, it had its ups and its downs, and there was a lot of things, in the real world that was messed up. But 2020, you got to kill 2020. Seriously. I mean, I got engaged November of last year. So many things to progress our relationship and our future was supposed to be this year, and everything got thrown disarray. And then you add COVID and you add everything else. I lost so many customers, not just because of sickness and death, but because so many people were out of work. They downsized. Somebody that had 2 cars only had 1. Somebody who owned multiple properties had to sell 1 or 2. And then I have a lot of customers who own properties and their tenants are not paying them rent. And, they cancel their insurance. They cancel this. They can't. I lost probably about half of my customers. But what do? Do I sit on Twitter and whine? Can I have some cheese with my wine? Or do I just hey, it is what it is. Try to make the best of it and you move on from it. Because the one thing that I've learned, and I try to help others with this if they want to help, is you could get angry, you could get upset, you could cry, you could scream, you could flip out, you could get depressed. Whatever it is, it's not going to change the situation. So probably the best thing to do is just to remain calm and just take each day at a time, and hopefully you get through it. I'm not thinking about 2021 right now or 2022. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if COVID-20 is going to come out. I don't know when I'm going to get the vaccine. My parents are going to Florida this Sunday, and they're getting the vaccine. Hopefully. Their doctor said, come on down, Cordyceps Bliss. But 2020, we got to kill it, man. Get rid of 2020. Get rid of 2020. Get rid of 2020. I can't wait for 2020 to be gone. By the way, shout out Shaheen Nuclear Heat Graphics, my brother. Thank you so much for the great artwork as always. He is the man behind the artwork. SoFlyBmOrE? BmOrE? Is it BmOrE or BmOrE? I think it's BmOrE. Happy New Year, my friend. And, that's another thing I got to say, too. I got to meet some pretty interesting characters here on the chat. And yes, many times I don't get to... What's up, Naya? Brian, Sam, SoFly, no name required. Big T, Lion, Lone Wolf. I see the room is getting bigger and bigger as we get closer to midnight. Teen Gaming, King of Hueco Mundo. That thing of a bitch. Oh, Anna. What's up, Anna? Chris Fowler, Austin Nance, FT Gagiano, FT, Happy New Year, because it's got to be already 2021 by you. He's in South Africa. So I love it, man. I love it. I don't think we want to see Attractions magazine. There was that Fozzie Bear on there. I used to be able to do Fozzie Bear. I can't do it anymore because my voice got too low. I used to be, I would have to, for some reason, have to really expand my voice and go, waka, 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 waka. See, I can't do it anymore. When I was a kid, oh, man, I used to do it. It was a lot of fun. We still got these Nimrods, and what is this, Broadway play? Where's the ball? They should be just showing the ball right now. That's Times Square. There we go. Oh, this is New York City. Let's see, what is this? This is London right now. This is the UK. This is London. Yeah, I'm so glad that you're able to see these screenshots. But, what I was going to say a few moments ago is, I know because of so many things going on at the same time when I do these shows and me running the helm by myself, Mish helps with the chat wherever he can. But, I do, on the replays, scroll through the chat. And I feel bad, and I really mean this. One of the things that I will make it my business to improve on this channel starting immediately is answering more questions as they come in. Because I see some of you out there on the replay, you ask a question, you ask a question, you ask a question, you ask a question. And I don't see it until the show is over. But I met so many crazy mofos in this chat room the last 11 months. Nelson Torres, WTF. What's up, brother? What's up? What's going on? Happy New Year, my friend. I envy Nelson Torres. Any of you out there don't know who Nelson Torres is, go on my Twitter. I only follow a very small number of people. Just look up Nelson Torres, WTF. I will tell you, you have to be 18 years of age or older. If I say that, everybody's going to be looking. Nelson, man, I see those interviews you do and a lot of people in the adult industry, and I love it, man. I love it. So, do you still talk to Captain Lenny? I have not talked to that man in ages. I hope he's doing well. I really do. I still got that audio when he was talking about taking a bath with the dog Pepper, and then he was going to masturbate for us. Oh man, I have. You know what? Maybe next week I'll play that for everyone. So any of you out there remember a wrestling valet in Florida by the name of Amy Vitale? I don't remember the other two wrestlers, but for those that don't know what I'm talking about 15 years ago, after an indie wrestling event that I managed, and she was on and a few people were on. In fact, you may remember Amy Vitale. She would march for breast cancer awareness a lot. She's a wonderful woman. I haven't talked to her in ages. But, yeah, some of you said you've heard of her. After this wrestling event was over, we went to a diner. And the two guys I don't remember their names, and I feel bad because one of them actually made it pretty good in wrestling, but he used to enjoy my hotline. And I would explain to him like some of the wacky people and everything. And he had asked me, there's this guy, Captain Lenny, used to have a hotline too. And he's like, is he as crazy as he, comes off? And I said, yeah, even crazier. So we called his house while we were in the restaurant, and I recorded the entire thing. Now, keep in mind, this is like 2005. This is before anybody had any ideas of streaming things online and this. I recorded the whole 20, 30-minute conversation. And all that we did for 20, 30 minutes was try to get him to masturbate on the phone. And you have Amy gets on the phone, Lenny, baby. And then the other guy is like, he just like talking like UK accents and this. And the funny thing is, he's writing like SmackDown spoilers down as he's talking to us. And he's like, Lenny, have you ever had a brown eye against your nose? And Lenny would be like, Shelton Benjamin just beat blah, 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 blah. It was the fun. I have it on audio. I played it for patrons already. If I play it, I'll play it next week. And it's the fun. You don't understand. My medulla oblongata almost exploded. You will hear nonstop laughing. At the very end, we don't know. We think he did because you heard him go, ugh, like he was getting into it. And then we just stopped. We put it on mute and he had dead silence. He's like, hello, hello, hello. I'm telling you, see, when I tell stories, I always try to back it up because so many people online, they talk out of their ass. In fact, I'm going to share one with you right now. If you've already been on my Twitter, I found the picture of me with the half tooth when I talked about when I was a kid. My friend pretended to throw a dart at me and I ducked and broke my tooth in half on a pool table. We found the student picture with me with the half a tooth. But earlier today, I posted a funny picture of my bird taking a shit on my shirt from earlier this year during a Patreon show. Last week, I spent Christmas with my family, and my mom brings out this giant box of pictures that I don't understand why it took her 25, 30 years to take this box out. And we're looking through pictures, and I found a couple of gems. Now, I posted a couple on Twitter already. I don't have those with me right now, but I have 4 that I'm going to share with you right now. I think you'll get a kick out of. First off, when I said to you that my father is like this with one of the guys that used to be in The Sopranos, they were at the Christmas party last year. So I found the picture. And I didn't Google it. So can someone tell me the name of this actor? This is my father with him. We'll take the fireworks off for a minute. What's his name? That's the guy I always said with the forehead. He was over my father's house last year for Christmas, hanging out. They went to Christmas party together. They're like this, him and my father. So what's his name? Because like I said, I don't, Tony Sirico? Is that it? Polly Walnuts. That's how I know. Polly Walnuts. Yeah, that's my dad with Polly Walnuts. By the way, I found tons of pictures of my father with De Niro, with, I'm trying to remember the actor from The Good Shepherd. Oh, God. I forgot his name right now, but I'll post those next week. So anyway, if you want a good laugh, and I told you that when I was a lot younger, I would suntan too much, and I had put on a decent amount of weight. Here you go. Here's DT from about, 30 years ago. Go check this out. Oh, wait till you see this. There you go. That's me. That's me. Look at that. Ew. Ew. I look like you should grease me up, stick a thermometer in my ass, see if I'm done yet. Yeah, that is me. My mom's looking at the camera like, why am I sitting next to this? And my brother's just like, hey, just leave me alone, man. Yeah, that is me, believe it or not. Damn. Oh, I got some gems to share. But this is my favorite to share with you. Because like I said, I posted earlier the picture of, when Freddie, my African Gray, took a dump on my shirt during a Patreon show and it got caught live on video, was not planned. Well, we found a picture of me and Freddie from 25 years ago. And it's hilarious because I explained not too long ago that I got this bouffant hair at the time. So I found a straight picture and I found a side shot. And I showed it to someone earlier today, and he said, not for nothing, man, your face looks a lot like Dexter Loomis. Not the same hair, obviously, but if you look at the eyes and you look at the nose and the mustache, he said it looks a lot like Dexter Loomis. So here is a picture of yours truly, Emma Bird, from 25 years ago. There you go. There you go. Let's zoom in on this a little bit. Says I look a lot like Dexter Loomis. Now, if I zoom out, you'll see, like, you know, like Gargano's got whey. Look in the lower right-hand corner. We got whey protein over there. There we go. That was my days that I thought I could become a wrestler and work out. See the what was that, Cybergenics at the time? But yeah, that is yours truly. Yep, that is yours truly. So, but we got to do the side shot. All right. I don't know what the hell was growing on my head, but if you zoom in on that, that is the side shot. My bird likes to give me kisses, but yeah, that is 25 years ago. Somebody said Ravishing Rick Rude. I don't think so. To me, it looks more like Dexter Loomis. So yeah, that is from 25 years ago, everybody. So yeah, a couple of photos. Yeah, we got the fireworks going on. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. What time are we at? We're at 10:47. So we still got an hour and 13 minutes to midnight. Doesn't it look like Dexter Loomis? If you look at the face, the mustache, even the way he looks, how he has that empty stare. I don't know. Somebody said that earlier. I'm like, yeah, you know, that's actually pretty cool, man. Yeah, Dexter Loomis vibes. So, yeah, my bird was born in 1994. So he's going to be 27. He's still doing strong. He's going to be here Sunday because I'm going to be bird sitting for 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, because my parents are going to Florida. So I didn't even get a chance to have this chocolate chip crushed cookie. Oh, man, that's so good. Oh, by the way, Brian Thompson. I don't want to show everybody your envelope because the guy address is on there, but I got your card. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate that card. It was very, very cool what you sent. So, Rocket Boy. What's up, Rocket Boy? Crazy Shem, Chris Fowler, Benjamin, T.Y. William. Or is that Thank You, William? Roger Rubio. Oh, yeah. Oh, Roger, yeah. I mean, honestly, I won't be here till 3 a.m. to wish you Happy New Year. But you could sit back and watch us have a Happy New Year at midnight. So, but much love, everybody. I'm glad that everybody's here right now. It sucks that, you know, we're under the circumstances we are. But again, you know, we got to do our best to take chicken shit, turn it into chicken salad. And if everybody's having a good time tonight, keeping your mind off of all this crap going on in this country and the world, you know, best way to go, man. Best way to go. Neil Ray, say Jumanji when it's 12. Say Jumanji when it's 12. Oh, when it's midnight. Jumanji, am I going to get in trouble? Seriously, like, I know there was a movie about Jumanji. Am I going to get in trouble for doing it? And no, I know it's not. Neil's good people. And I helped him when he is down. It's been a rough several years. Thank you for helping make things better. Look, I appreciate that, seriously. I'll never forget, for some of you out there that I got to meet in person about 2.5 years ago. It was a year and a half ago. Lucky 13. I'll never forget that. That was that changed me big time. I've had very long conversations with Mish about that. That changed because I had the cancer scare about 4 months before. I had diverticulitis surgery about a month before that get together. And, you know, I know I've told this before, but for some of you out there, just to show you my authenticity of why when I say things like this, I mean it. You know, that event was all about wrestling soup. It was a wrestling soup event. I went down there, hung out. I recorded about 90 minutes of the footage. And I'll never forget it. After the show was over, for no reason at all, 2 lines formed. Didn't think anything of it. I thought originally that maybe Mish was just handing out like shirts or stuff. I know he was tossing like, like wrestling soup stuff in the audience. But 2 lines formed. And I didn't even think anything of it. And then I realized that one of those lines formed was for me. And I had Crazy Cruiserweight and a whole bunch of you crazy mofos meet me in person. And I had people tell me that they were homeless for a while. I had people tell me that they had bitter divorces, parents died, illness, everything you could possibly imagine. And every single person said that we all got them through the darkest days of their life. And it's not that people were saying that to get a like from me or to be like, oh, cool. Now, you could see in their eyes. That's why I say, why the video is so important to me now, because you see in someone's eyes, what they're saying is the truth or not. And to have that many people come up to me, and that's another thing too. I don't care about race or sexual orientation or religion or anything. I treat everybody the same. I fuck with everybody the same. I praise everybody the same. I treat everybody as my equal. And that's the way I feel it should be. But I pointed this out, and if any of you out there have ever seen the footage, you know what I'm talking about. You look at that crowd, and about 3/4 of it were Black and Spanish. And, it was just so powerful. And that changed me, man. That changed me. That night changed me. That was a get-together we planned for 2 years. And I said that unless I'm dead or in jail, I ain't missing it for nothing. And it sucked because I wish I could have enjoyed it more, but I was in so much pain in my midsection from the surgery. It's not fun to get your intestines split in half. They take parts of it out and then sew it back together. I mean, that's the short version of it. But that was powerful. So, Neil, I thank you so much for those kind words. But believe me, I tell you, as much as you feel that way towards me, a lot of you out there, I feel that way towards you too. Seriously. I don't have this perfect life here. I try to keep positive and I try to keep busy. And I have said before, on Patreon, I get a little bit more raw. Maybe this Thursday show from now on, I could get a little bit more personal. But I think I keep myself busy so much to try to keep depression aside. I shouldn't have too much to be depressed about right now. I got a great relationship. My parents are still here. Bills are pretty much under control. My health is decent. So still, but you ever hear that saying, money doesn't buy you happiness? You do feel voids. And I always fear, like, what's this going to look like a year from now? My family going to still be here? Am I still going to be doing this? Nothing is guaranteed. Look what happened to Brody Lee. I watched that Being the Elite episode that they put up on Monday. Trust me when I tell you, everyone, if you were moved at all by Brody Lee's passing and you're a fan of Brody Lee, go out of your way and watch the Being the Elite episode that just came out. I'm not going to lie. I don't watch many of those episodes. It's not that I'm not that big of a fan of the Young Bucks or anything like that, but I just never really got into those episodes as much as others. But what they did for Brody Lee and showed all that behind-the-scenes footage and the tributes by John Silver and others, I tell you, I watched it 3 times already. I kid you not. I watched it 3 times already. Be prepared. There is a hell of a lot of strong language. But when I was done, I swear to you, I just don't want to piss her off because she doesn't know. But I was going to grab a bunch of pieces of paper, roll them up, and when she comes in here to toast in New Year, I was going to just throw it at her head. On the camera. But I could just picture her just dropping the bottle and leaving the room because she would do something like that. So, yes, Crazy Cruiserweight, MF Doom, big time hip hop artist, considered legend in a lot of people's eyes, died at 49 years old. No specifics, but, some places reported that he just died this week. But the fact is he actually died about 2.5 months ago. The news just pretty much broke today with him. I checked back at some of his tracks earlier today, and I'm not going to lie, that's not one of the hip-hop artists that I really followed, back in the day. But, the more I looked, the more I realized, this guy was a big deal. Big deal. Absolute big deal. So 49 years old. Yeah, Benjamin, that would have been a bad move for me. I'm trying to end 2020 on a positive note, on a smile. The last thing I really want to do is piss her off. I mean, I convinced her to come in here to have a little champagne toast, so she's not one that likes to, be in front of cameras and stuff like that. So, but Dream 101, he hopes the election will be overturned January 6th. He's very scared if Biden is elected. Look, Georgia is what you should be concerned about. If the Senate goes in favor of Democrats, then you should be even more concerned. I mean, let's look. I was one of Trump's biggest supporters for a long time, way before he ever ran for president. My father, I've mentioned it many times before, my father knew his father. I've met Trump a few times over the years. I got a signed letter inside from him. Photo, he wrote this whole paragraph. As soon as he got put in office, I sent him a picture of my father at the White House. My father went to the White House, see him inducted. My father, connections got awesome. See, he was almost right in front. And I wrote him a letter, 2 pages, just told him if he, recalled, if he remembered my father. We had seen him not too long ago in a hospital. He wasn't in the hospital. He was visiting someone. And, I remember he saw my father. He's like, hey, Nick, how's it going? So, he knew him on a first name basis. But I said, my father's very happy for you. And, stay strong with all this, toxic atmosphere with news. I said, and if you could do me a favor, if you could send a photo for my dad, it would just make his day. And I included a picture of my father at the White House. Not only did he send a signed photo and wrote this whole paragraph to my dad, he sent me one too. And I thought that was pretty cool. But obviously my views have changed dramatically about Trump over the last couple of years. And I will be the first one to tell you, there is no way this election is being overturned. And you want to know something? I know this is going to upset you, but I will just say this very, very simple and to the point. Teen Gaming wants my father to help him get to the moon. I'll help you get to the moon. You don't need my father for that. Yes, Roger, I'm getting to Mitch McConnell in a second. I don't think this country could handle the election being overturned. You think about all those riots. Yes, a lot of them were against police brutality and racism and everything, but there were a lot of people who hijacked those riots because of who was president, what's going on. Can you imagine what will happen to this country if the election is overturned? As much as I don't want to see Biden and Harris in office, for me, for the betterment of the country, what needs to happen is they need to go in office, but Republicans need to keep the Senate. This way there's a balance. But I will tell you this. Mitch McConnell, man, this is selfish, Don Tony talking for a minute. I hope if Mitch McConnell does not allow that $2,000 to go through, I hope the Senate goes in favor of the Democrats. Because Mitch McConnell will, and I know what some of you feel, you know, that $600 billion that attached to our bill. This is the funny thing about it, and this is what pisses me off about politicians in general. You got all these jerk-offs on both sides saying, oh, we're just more, you know, sending a bill for our children of tomorrow and our grandchildren, and they're going to be hit with all this debt. I got news for you, scumbags. Not you, politicians. If I am $80,000 in debt that I can't pay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I have $85,000 in debt or $90,000 in debt or $95,000 in debt. If I can't pay it, if there's another $5,000 or $10,000 in my debt, I still can't pay it. So don't give me this bullshit that, oh, we're mortgaging our children's future. Okay, so they're only going to have $21 trillion in debt instead of $22 trillion in debt. The fuck out of here. This is why I stopped following politics. I understand, you know, people are concerned, and I'm concerned also, but what you're seeing right now is politicians do not give a shit about you or I. The only, and this is weird, the only politician the last 2 weeks, other than Trump saying that he wants everybody to have 2,000, the only politician that I actually could give credit to over the last 2 weeks is Bernie Sanders. Do you ever think I would say that out of my mouth? Seriously, I don't want $20-30 trillion in debt. I don't want that at all. But for them to make it sound like we can't give everybody 2,000 because we're just mortgaging our children's future. Motherfucker, that's the difference between 22 trillion in debt or 23 trillion in debt. They only care about themselves. They don't care about us. They only care about power. They only care about, you know, what they could do. And that's why they keep getting put in office. You see all these little things. You see these things getting approved and Smithsonian and all this other. I have nothing against those, but you see, that's where their breads are buttered. And it's not even Trump. As much as you all out there despise Trump, you're seeing now it is toxic on both sides. It's toxic on both sides. So anyway, FT Gagiano, yes, I said it earlier, my friend. He is, he is right now about 5 a.m. So, you know, I thought it was later because I'm used to doing the show later when I talk to you. He's 8,000 miles away from me right now. You know, from here to California where I live is about 3,000 miles. I had go on a plane, go from New York to California back to New York, and then halfway there, and I still would not have made it where he is right now. So, but much love, man. I appreciate every single one of you out there, whether you're in South Africa, 8,000 miles away, or if you're 8 blocks away. Absolutely appreciate it. Oh, by the way, big shout out to Vince Russo. Sent me autographed figure. I thought that was pretty cool. I know a lot of you out there are still asking for that podcast episode that me and Vince Russo were going to do about 2-3 years ago. It will happen in 2021. And you know me. I don't make promises I can't keep. Or I should change my mind. I should change that because we all make promises, and unfortunately sometimes for circumstances you can't keep it. But when I say I'm going to do something, I would try to make sure I do it. And for those that don't know, a couple of years ago, Vince Russo and I I don't do guests, if you notice. That's a running thing with yours truly, going back to even Hotline days. Yes, Conan, because of the circumstances. We had one adult film star who was a big fan of our shows that came on, but I don't do interviews. And when all those years went by and you see how many people that still tune in, it's humbling because you know they're tuning in for me, or when Kev was on, or Mish, whoever it is. You know they're tuning in for us. They're not tuning in because of the guest that you're going to have on. So once all those years went by, I said, nah, I'm not having any guests. I'm not going to break that streak. But for Vince Russo, I make a special exception because I've been a fan of Vince Russo since the 90s. Since before, Vince, we need to change this. When he was in WWF, before that, when he was doing hotlines here in New York. That's how far I go back. So anyway, I had said that if we get 500 likes on Twitter, I will do an episode with Vince Russo. And I think we got like 460 likes. So I said, nope. 500 likes by a certain date, otherwise it wasn't happening. And I stuck to that. And a lot of people were pissed. They're like, come on, man, just do it. So we didn't do it. 2021, I plan on inviting Vince Russo on. Maybe it'll be a Thursday, like one of these episodes. But it is happening. There's a lot of things going down on 2021 over here. We're tightening up the shows substantially. And I know I've blown hype and I've been saying, I'm going to do a short show, and it doesn't happen. It's only because we get into these really great conversations and I don't want to cut them short because we're having such a great discussion. That's why they go long. And trust me, when it's 3 o'clock in the morning and the Ambien hasn't kicked in yet and I got to get up at 6, that's the time where I'm like, fuck, you got to follow what you say. But Mish and I have been preparing a lot of things in the background to tighten these up. But there's going to be more shows added. And I promise you it's going to be different. Not expecting you to tune into every minute of every show, but we're going to have so much variety on here. And there will be people making appearances on here. There's a lot of people out here on YouTube that do some great shows that I absolutely love to have a conversation with about whatever. Doesn't have to be about wrestling. You will see a lot going down on this channel in 2021. It's not blowing smoke. There are people out there that will tell you they're doing this, they're doing this, they're doing this, they're doing this. And at the end of the day, when it doesn't happen, you realize that the only reason why they say they're doing all that stuff is so they could feel like they're part of the conversation. And it's a shame. The day I do that is the day I pack it in. So, Tyree Jones' favorite fast food joint, McDonald's. Even though I'm on this keto diet right now and I'm subject to keto cookies and keto biscottis and bulletproof coffee. By the way, Captain Lou. I still go to McDonald's, and my local McDonald's, I know one of the workers there. He's very, very cool with me. He'll make me quarter pounders with cheese or quarter pounders with no ketchup at all. I had 2 McRibs about 2 weeks ago, and I think I even posted a picture on Twitter, and I told him, please give it to me with no sauce. Ate it, loved it. I miss French fries. I haven't had French fries in 2.5 years. That's another thing. Sometime in January or February, I'm going to have one day and I'm eating pizza and I'm eating French fries and I'm eating regular pasta and I'm eating lasagna and I'm eating stuffed shells and I'm eating eggplant parmesan and I'm eating fried eggplant with American cheese on a roll and I am eating regular bread, and I don't care if I gain 5 pounds. I am going to have an orgy with food one day in January or February. And if I get headaches for a day or two after to get myself back into this ketosis because of the diet I'm on, I will. But, garlic bread. Yeah, garlic bread with melted mozzarella on it. Oh, my God, you have no idea. And I will document it. Seriously. Do any of you out there ever, it's an outdated movie. Any of you out there ever see the movie Fatso starring Dom DeLuise? I had points in my life just like that. And I talked about it more on Patreon than anything else, that sometimes, and I realized what it was, food became a close friend. Well, mozzarella sticks. Hell yeah, mozzarella sticks. I like baked clams as long as the clams are chopped, because I'm not a big seafood guy. Mozzarella sticks with dipping into the sauce. Stuffed mushrooms. Oh, man. Fried raviolis. But that movie, when I was 365 pounds I realized that food was my best friend. And I'm not making it up. Food was my best friend. I would go out with my friends. I would be doing things. And in the back of my mind, all I would think about is that double bacon cheeseburger that I was going to order at the diner when it's time to go home. Or stop by White Castle. I had a point in my life that I would buy loads and loads of food, chicken cutlet with melted cheese, and I would just sit in front of the TV for 2-3 hours, and it was like a holiday. I had everything planned out. I mean, that's what it was. And I know some of you out there have gone through that as well. And trust me, I miss that, but my health is more important to me. But believe me when I tell you, that movie Fatso, there was a point in the movie where he met a girl. And I haven't seen that movie since the 80s, so it's outdated reference. But I think of that movie when I think about the food. And there's a point where he just loses it. He buys Chinese food, I think, for his whole family. And he's got the bag of Chinese food in his car, and he's looking at the food. And he was trying to lose weight, and he just gave in. And he ate everything. 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 If anybody ever saw that movie and saw that scene, that will be me in a month or two. I am going to plan it like a holiday. And, I'll have a bad headache the next day because I haven't had a drop of sugar or bread in 2.5 years. So, food is a drug, man. I'm telling you, look, we have so many vices. Social media is a drug. Food is a drug. I mean, that gratification gives you a feeling inside. It's a chemical reaction. I know it sounds nuts, but go check out studies. It's true. When I say that a lot of people out there have traded in a real life for this fictitious life that they create on social media, there is a chemical dependency on that writing every little tweet or writing about a topic 95 times because the first one didn't get you enough results back, that addiction of seeing like, comment, like, that's not just, having a conversation. That is a dependency. And when you click on something and see that satisfaction, there's a chemical reaction to it. It's not just me trying to act like an asshole. It's true. It's true. And unfortunately, social media could put people over the edge. And in a few minutes, I'm going to pay tribute to everybody we lost in 2020 in the world of pro wrestling. I hope my list is complete. If there's anybody I left out, please let me know. I think I have a pretty, I keep a list, and I think I have it complete. Shout out to John. You're very welcome, my friend. Absolutely love doing these shows for all of you out there. It's a lot of fun. It's getting easier as time goes by. And, just having regular convo. Like I said, so many of you wanted a show like this on Thursdays. I had to look at days in a week. And Thursday was really the day that I could do it. But, the thing I was worried about is, like, I'm always with a format. I always have notes in front of me. I have topics I want to get into. I have bullet points that I definitely want to cover, and going into Thursday, I'm saying to myself, okay, this is going to be interesting because I'm going into it with a clear mind. Like, I don't know what you guys and gals are going to want to talk about. So, going into this, yes, it's New Year's Eve. It's a little bit of a special circumstance, but we could go 1 minute talking about fast food and the next one you're talking about mental health. You know what I'm saying? It's just wherever this goes, it goes. Rough, man. Lexi, I got my family in Scotland. I'm serious, man. I would do it as a joke. I probably would tell her first. If Nikki Cross was ever in an autograph signing, I would say, Nikki, look, I'll give you a couple extra dollars. Can I do something, just a running joke? And she'll be like, what? And I'll say, you remember that when Alexa Bliss threw the mug on the floor and broke it? And we always had a good laugh at it. It's like, is it all right if I have you autograph a mug and then I break it? And she'd probably look at me like, saying like, oh, yeah, sure. And she'd probably saying to herself, the fuck is wrong with this guy? Is he stupid? But yeah, I will do that. I'll have her sign it. Anyway, let's see what's going on in New York City. Tell me that doesn't look like a wrestling ring. What are they doing? This is Times Square. Come on, man. All right, there's a multi-view cam. What's this? Let's see what this is. Let me see if I can enlarge this. Let me see what this is all about. Nah, this sucks, man. Look at that. There's like nothing going on in New York City right now. You know, there's a guy. Oh, this guy's at Rockefeller. Wait a minute. Why does it look like it's snowing? It's not snowing in New York. Oh, this is December. Sorry. That's December 2020. Let's see. Let's go back to the other one. What is that? You'd think that they would be showing, okay, what is that, Disney World? That's Disneyland. This is live right now in New York City. They're still doing fireworks. Let's see. This is, I don't know, this is live, but this is London. Why would London be still doing fireworks this late? That's beautiful, though. That's beautiful. London knows how to fucking have a fireworks display. That looks like a Ferris wheel. You know what? I'd love to be on a Ferris wheel while they're doing the fireworks like that. Seriously, I would want like one of those like rockets to go in my nose and stuff like that, even if I got burned. That looks cool, man. Imagine if you were on that Ferris wheel and they just stopped it. That's not live. Okay. Yeah, somebody's saying it's not live. See, that's one thing. This is definitely live. This is definitely live. Yeah, this is definitely live. But, man, talk about dead. What is that? Oh, my God. And you know what's funny? Fox is covering the same screen. CNN is covering the same. Yeah, I envy. I envy it a little bit. You guys really know how to do some great fireworks. Steve Joseph, great question. Will I be on keto for the rest of my life? Honestly, probably. I went for blood work about a week and a half ago. I've been on cholesterol medication for 5-6 years now. I've been on high blood pressure medicine for 5-6 years now. My blood pressure's been perfect. My cholesterol's been in check. I have not taken a cholesterol pill in the last 10 days. My medication ran out. I called just to show you how messed up doctors could be. This is a family doctor. I know this woman since I was like a teenager. And my family gives her like big fruit baskets every year in the holidays. So a week and a half ago, I called the doctor's office and they have an extension that says, you know, if you need to have a prescription filled, press 2. And you press 2 and it says you can leave leave your name and the prescription you want in the pharmacy you go to, and we'll call it in. So I called them up and I'm like, yeah, this is Anthony. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Send my regards to blah 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 blah. And I'd like to get some Rosuvastatin, whatever it is, filled. I only have 2 days left. They call me back the next day and they're like, you need to come in and get blood work done. You haven't gotten it done since March. Okay, no problem. When do you want me to come in? Could you come in Saturday? Yeah, no problem. Could you do me a favor, though? Could you call in the prescription now? Because I only have 2 days left, and I will run out before Saturday. This was like on a Monday or a Tuesday. And she's like, no, we can't fill it until you come in and get blood work. I said, well, what do I do for the next 5-6 days? I can't just quit cholesterol medicine or high blood pressure medicine cold turkey. She's like, unfortunately, you get out. I'm like, man, fuck these people. I wasn't even going to go in to get the blood work done, but I have to go back January 12th, and if my blood work is good, I don't have to take cholesterol medicine anymore. My blood work has been almost perfect being on this keto. And I know it's not probably as healthy as people say it is, but I dropped 70-something pounds from it. I eat ice cream, I eat chocolate chip cookies, I have pizza. My God, if I didn't have a cover over my freezer right now, I have a meat freezer behind me, by the way. You don't see it because I have a black cover, and that's why the screen is always a little bit darker, because if I make it lighter, let me see. Look, this show today is just whatever. Yeah, if I make the screen lighter, look what happens. Wait. There you go. See the background? You see that cover? That's covering. So let me fix that. There we go. That's covering. You don't see it, but there's a meat freezer. I got loads of pizza in there, you know, but it doesn't taste. It's not as good as what the real thing is. So, I mean, I'm used to it now. I don't miss the things. I mean, look, tomorrow morning I'm going to have scrambled eggs with bacon and sausage, you know, and probably some berries on the side. The only thing I can't have is hash browns, you know. But, you know, if I have to sacrifice a little bit but enjoy some other things. Yeah, Jim Z, not to change subject, but I'll mention this for a second. Yes, for those who are older that followed baseball, especially if you were a fan of the Atlanta Braves, the Yankees for a little while, and it's a few other teams. Phil Niekro died last week and got virtually no coverage. You know, I should take the picture just to show you. The problem is that I can't. It'll take me too long to put it online, but if I take the picture, I'll show you. Okay. You know what? Maybe I will. If I could email myself this photo, I'll show it to you, just to show you an example of all the baseball games that I have. Maybe I'll get lucky and the picture will go right through. You know, it's weird with iPhones. I have Wi-Fi and it goes through. I'll show you the picture, but I have tons and tons of, because I live in New York. But I have tons of Yankee games, Met games from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, because that was my childhood growing up. But it's got to be at least 60 or 70 games, Phil Niekro pitching. And there's a funny game he pitched in the 80s. It's funny because Ted Turner, I got to put or if I find it on YouTube, I got to share. By the way, I think the email just came across. If it pops up, I'll show you. But there was a game like around 1981 or something where he pitched, and Ted Turner gave him, like, they celebrated some milestone. It wasn't a big milestone, and they did this whole ceremony on the field, and they gave him a check for like $1,000. It was pretty funny because it was like all of that for $1,000, but the game is a lot of fun because there's tons of fights during the game. I think it was against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Not 100% sure. I haven't seen that game in ages. But here, this is only a small part of my baseball collection because each one holds about, let me take this out of there. If you could see that. If I zoom in a little bit, you'll see what I'm talking about. Oh, why is it showing me colors? Hold on. There we go. Over here. If you see me zooming in, look. See, we go to the top. Major League Baseball, 80s, Mets, Yankees, all playoffs, the Mets and others, Mets playoffs, Mets. The Yankees are all the way buried down on the bottom. And I got another row of games inside. But you see how big those things are? There's like a couple of hundred discs in each one. I have like 8,000 discs of games. So that's what I use. So, okay, you got buffering. The buffering will fix. Don't worry about it. It should be back. I was showing everybody the picture, but I guess because of the, zooming in, you could probably zoom in later on, but can you see that picture now? Probably could see it now. Yeah, you know what it is? I have to be careful with some of the pictures that go on. But, yeah, just refresh. I'll have that queued up next time. I'll take out some of them and I'll show you what that's all about. So let's get some fireworks back on here. Let's get some fireworks. So we're at 11:25 p.m. Oh, you know what I noticed? Hold on. I just noticed something. We got to put the little clock in the corner. There we go. See the clock? 11:25 p.m. over here. Yeah, I got a little clock running in the corner. Angel Garza, new 24/7 champion via TikTok party. Are you serious? Is that a joke? Angel Garza won the 24/7 championship? I don't know, man. I don't know. How do they not give it to MVP? Even for a week or two. So all four of those guys could take a picture with belts. I don't understand that. crazy as asking me, what am I going to do with all those games? I watched them. If I ever get arrested for like life in prison and they let me have like a nice cell like Goodfellas, I'm going to tell them, let me bring all my games with me. And I'll just sit in front of the DVD player until I'm dead. But no, I tell you, I enjoy it because I have so many games and there's a lot of memories. And if I feel like I just whip a game out, watch it. I mean, Dwight Gooden was one of my favorite pitchers growing up. When he went 25-3, 24-4, 25-3. Was that Guidry's year, 25-3? But 24-4, I believe, was Gooden's year in 84 or 85. I think it was 85. And I have almost every game that he pitched in 85. I have a lot of his games in 84 as well. But I loved tape trading back in the day. A lot of you that are younger now, that's something truly you would have Benjamin saying, how do I know what happened in every game? When you're that much of a fan and you have no idea. You remember things. It's totally different. It's totally different. Yes, 24-4 was Gooden's. I think his ERA was 1.74, if I'm correct. And I couldn't have made it up because I had no idea we were going to talk about him on the show tonight. Yeah, 276 strikeouts or something like that. But you know, for those that are younger out there, this is something you missed. Not only, and by the way, is that true about Angel Garza? I need to know if that's true. If Angel Garza actually won the 24/7 title tonight. For those that are younger, believe me when I tell you, I'm not going to be like one of these old men that are like, oh, back in the day, you would have done. But it was so much fun back in the day, tape trading wrestling and tape trading baseball. And, you know, because I lived in New York all my life, there was a lot of Southern promotions in wrestling that I didn't get a chance to see. And, you know, you become pen pals with people over the years. You had to be careful in the magazines because there are some pedophiles at the time. I brought those stories up before. If you do a Google search and you look at some of the wrestling magazines from the late 70s especially, and they show the pages for pen pals, there's an infamous guy, and I've mentioned him before, and somebody one time showed me the picture of it. I guess maybe they thought I was lying when I said it. I think like Pro Wrestling Illustrated or the Wrestler, Inside Wrestling, they would have pen pals. They would show people, and you could write to them and talk about wrestling. And you'd see like a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 14-year-old, and the 14-year-old seemed old. Then you would get a guy that's like 35 years old, receding hairline, wearing like a Charlie Brown shirt, and his name would be John. And then you would see the same guy, but he's posing this way, and he would call himself Joey, and tried to play off that they were twin brothers. Bruce Mitchell, man. Guy doesn't know the difference between being a journalist and just being respectful. He ain't this fucking CNN reporter that he's got to cover this story. No, sometimes you got to just fucking shut the fuck up and show respect to people's families. They owe you nothing. They owe you nothing. And I wish if it shook him because he's an older man and maybe he wanted to know because because look, we're all saying that. How does Brody Lee go from a beast a couple of months ago winning a TNT title, dominating, and deceased a couple of months later? I think some people want to insist that it's COVID for closure. I'm not saying that's right or it's wrong. I mean, obviously, if that's not how he passed, that's wrong. But I think some people push that because they want closure. And I wish Bruce Mitchell would have just had the balls to say, look, you know, this shook me because I'm an older man and I don't look like I'm in the greatest of health. My teeth are weird for some reason. And, you know, I just don't understand how somebody could go from one extreme to deceased in that short of a time. You know, it doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to make sense. We're human beings, and unfortunately, people pass. I've told this story so many times over the years that when I was a teenager, I used to hang out with this girl, and she was 15 years old, and I was 17 at the time, and we were in, if anybody remembers, Robert Hall Village. That was like a mall in Middle Village, Queens, back in the 80s. And we were in the back where the cafeteria was, and I'll never forget it. We were walking around, like we couldn't afford to buy anything other than pizza. So we were walking around the store, the records, this and that. So we stopped at the cafeteria to get some pizza and some soda and just hang out for a little while like all teenagers do. And I'll never forget it. We were sitting at the table, and she put her head down like, oh, I'm tired, like this. And that was it. Brain aneurysm. 15 years old. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. We don't know. And honestly, even though we watched Luke Harper so much on TV, and even though we were big fans of his, that doesn't mean that we are entitled to know exactly why he passed. It's not our business. We want to know. We don't understand why he was taken like that, but too bad. Too bad, Bruce Mitchell. Too bad me. Too bad. We all want to know the answers. Look, I started saying something Wednesday, and some of you, Anthony, you're crazy. I'll post what you said in a second. But on Wednesday, I was saying something, and I got sidetracked. And I said, if you want me to play conspiracy theory for a minute as to why WWE didn't do a tribute Monday, it ended up what I said on Monday was spot on. WWE took them longer to put something together special. They either do full-blown tributes or they do none at all. And they couldn't get it done in time to play it Monday. That's all it was. No controversy. That's all it was. Now it's too late for them to put it on this Monday's Raw, because you'll have social media in uproar saying, oh, that's a week too late. And as far as these people out there that are saying, oh, WWE gave AEW permission to use those photos yesterday, usually when it happens, you will see in text in the corner of the photo, courtesy WWE. I don't know if WWE gave them permission or not, but the reason why I don't think that they did is because all those photos, and again, this is why you don't listen to people on social media. All those photos that they showed on Dynamite yesterday that were WWE wrestlers, those were photos that those wrestlers posted on their personal social media accounts. And that's why AEW had every right to post those photos. They didn't post photos of Luke Harper wrestling in the ring against opponents. It was all posed photos because the wrestlers in those photos posted on their social media accounts. But Wednesday, I said, if I want to play conspiracy theorist for a minute as to why WWE didn't do more, at least a 10-bell salute, I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm not trying to say that this is true or not, but this is my conspiracy theory going, and trust me, this is nothing controversial. No one is going to be offended by this. Remember the situation in Saudi Arabia? Remember there was a lawsuit that came out of Saudi Arabia? There was an unknown WWE wrestler that made some claims in an affidavit. You remember that lawsuit? Do you remember at that time who a lot of people thought was anonymous wrestler number one? Luke Harper. At that time, a lot of us thought that anonymous wrestler in that affidavit, a lot of people thought it was Luke Harper. And the conspiracy theorist in me, and no one said this week, but I like I said, I got sidetracked Wednesday. But thinking about it since Wednesday, I don't think WWE held a gripe because of that. This is a 41-year-old man, very special man, special family man, special friend. Every wrestler, was affected deeply. And by the way, props to every WWE wrestler who gave AEW praise for that tribute show yesterday, because that is something that has changed dramatically in wrestling over the last 10 years. That these wrestlers will name drop other promotions and WWE has to just sit there and take it and take it and take it. Good. Because Wednesday was not about competition. Wednesday should have been, I understand why WWE or NXT didn't do that, but I think at minimum they should have done a 10-bell salute. Now it's too fucking late. They should have done a 10-bell salute at minimum. And they didn't even do that. That requires no preparation. Requires none. They could have shown the banner. They didn't have to have everybody on the rampway. They could have just shown the banner, 10 bells, fade to black. That would have been good enough. They didn't even do that. And that pisses me off. So, gotta get into a couple more shout-outs. Shout out to Papo Jr. Papo Jr. What's up, man? Became a fan of the podcast about 3 weeks ago. Loves it. Always likes listening to people like myself. Oh, geez. Thank you. Thank you for that. And he's very happy they found the channel. I love that, man. Couldn't have given me a better compliment. I thank you for that. I really appreciate that. 24 years late, by the way. You got some catching up to do, but you want to know something? I've been doing some form of this since 97. Right now, I think is really where it goes to the next level. Monday, yes, it was terrible that Brody Lee passed, and that's what the topic had to be. But there was a totally different vibe, and it wasn't just celebrating Brody Lee. So I appreciate that. I really do. And I thank you very much. And look, don't be a stranger. If there's stuff on the show, you could post it in the comments. You could email me, dontony@dontony.com. DM me on Twitter, @DonTonyD. Any suggestions, anything you like, dislike, anything you think that I could do to make this channel better and more enjoyable for you, just other than stripping, because, I don't think anybody wants to see me not wearing a shirt yet. But no, seriously, I'm always welcoming feedback, and I'm not one of those that if you criticize me about something, there's difference between criticizing and being an asshole. There's a few people who got really triggered last week because I blocked them on social media. And, it's not as cut and dry as that is. They think that people don't show me things. But somebody had written on social media calling me a pussy and this, that. I know you're saying, that again? Yeah, multiple people. And the person liked the comment. So look, if you think that I shouldn't be doing this, or you feel this way, or this and that, I'm fine. I could accept criticism. But if you're going to follow me on social media and then like when people calling me a pussy, whether it's in a DM or it's publicly, I block your ass. No, you don't have the privilege of enjoying my social media accounts. And just be thankful that you haven't been blocked on YouTube either. So, Keith Lee. By the way, did anybody out there see Keith Lee's tribute to Luke Harper? I do not criticize Keith Lee all that much because I remember how awesome his work in NXT was. But I watched his tribute today to Brody Lee. And I realize now that the way Keith Lee talks in his promos is the way he talks a lot in real life. I'm not making fun of it, and I'm not criticizing it. But if you haven't seen it yet, watch it. Mish and I will talk about it on Monday. But if you watch his promo, well, it's not a promo, him commenting, paying tribute to Brody Lee, it sounds like he's cutting a promo. It sounds like he's in the ring with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. I kid you not. I'm convinced now that Keith Lee, yes, Phillip promote, he said it perfectly. he talks like he's on a broad, not Shakespeare mode. He talks like he's on a Broadway play, like a real, maybe Shakespeare mode, like you said. That's how he talks. Look, Mean Gene Oakland. That was one of the things when we met Mean Gene Oakland in real life. No cameras around, nothing else. And he would just say like, wow, we're having some real nice weather in this. He would talk like he's cutting a promo. I mean, that's how Mean Gene Oakland talked in real life. He sounded like he cut promos all the time. So I'm telling you, Phil, I mean, I'll joke for a minute. I picture Keith Lee getting intimate and talking like that. You just picture that. I mean, Mish and I have a little laugh at that on Monday, but go watch his tribute. What he said about Brody Lee was beautiful. But I took notice on the way he talks. And I said, look at this. I said, he talks more like this in real life. That you got to see it. Go out of your way to see it. Beautiful what he said. But check out his delivery. So, Anthony Diaz, can I call smoked out? He misses, yeah. When we used to do the Minority Report, this is for Papo and others. Back about 15 years ago when I used to do another podcast called the Minority Report that came before, the recent shows. We used to have this guy on there by the name of Smoked Out. And they called him Smoked Out because he smoked weed. And honestly, and I'm not saying this to be racist, he lives about 10 minutes where I live. I don't know if he still lives, in my vicinity. I don't want to say the town. But, I used to drive him home a lot. And, he good guy. I worked a couple of shows with him as well. Smoked Out had dreads. He smoked weed. Smoked Out was with me. When I tell those stories about when I went to ECW, because I worked for ECW at the end pushing tickets, guilty as charged 2000, when I brought the Heroes and Francine used one of them as a prop on the pay-per-view, Smoked Out was my guest. Smoked Out was with me behind the scenes, hanging out with Paul Heyman, hanging out with everybody. And that guy smoked weed 24/7. I had a Pontiac Sunfire at the time, and I was shaking in my shoes. We pulled up at the Hammerstein Ballroom, or wherever it was at that time, and he opened the sunroof, and a cloud of freaking smoke came out of my... He smoked so much weed, but he would smoke so much weed. We would be doing a live podcast, and we'd be getting maybe like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. And we'd start wrapping it up, and it'd be like, hey, Smoked Out, any final thoughts before you go? And you'd hear... He would pass out and sleep on the shows, sometimes halfway through. And we would just... I have episodes. I got to put in a clip. I have the old episodes. The old episodes, for people that keep asking, the reason why they're offline right now is because I have to find another host company to host all the old episodes. It's not cheap to host 15, 16, 17 years worth of shows online for people to stream, download this and that. And I just can't pay, $1,000 plus a year simply because, you know what I mean? So I'm working on it with Mish. We're probably going to upload a year at a time, but that's the reason why. There's a couple of people online that thought there were ulterior motives. I'm trying to erase the career of one of my co-hosts. No, hand over some bucks and they'll be online in 5 minutes. No, it's a lot of work and a lot of expense. And honestly, I can't dedicate that much time to upload 2005 when I'm trying to worry about 2021. So that's the truth. That's the honest truth. So, so did we find out about Angel Garza? Is he really the new 24/7 champion? I really want to know that. FT Gagiano always thought that the Retribution faction was made for Seth Rollins. You want to know something? I actually would have been fine maybe with Randy Orton as leader if it would have been done a little bit differently, not with the masks and all that, because I keep thinking about Randy Orton And for the people out there right now, they're like, what? Think about this for a minute. Randy Orton tried to align himself with FTR, if you remember, when they were the Revival. He focused on a lot of the young guys. Earlier this year, he did a segment or two with Angel Garza and Andrade. And I always thought that Randy Orton wanted to really have fun with some of the younger guys and try to boost them up. And I thought, if they wouldn't have done this Antifa nonsense and if they wouldn't have had masks, I could have seen Randy Orton leading a faction. But I still think Shane McMahon, it was designed for. I'm telling you. When I made that idea, it was not a prediction. It was not a spoiler. It was not, that I was positive. It just felt like it made sense. I have a feeling one day down the line, we are going to find out that the original leader for Retribution was supposed to be Shane McMahon, but because of COVID and because Raw Underground had to go to an abrupt halt, that it was nixed. Because there ain't no way. And remember, think back to this year. Raw Underground started at the exact same time as Retribution. Retribution never showed up at Raw Underground to cause chaos. They showed up the same week. To me, it just fit like a glove. Shane McMahon having a faction, try to gut WWE from within, and I thought that the whole thing would ultimately fall into place. Didn't happen. But I would have, and Alton here, what's up, Alton? He says, Matt Garza, excuse me. My God, I'm thinking of Raw because he was looking at Matt Garza, the plaque. Angel Garza pinned R-Truth, the 24/7 champ. The only thing I see with that is if Angel Garza hands the title over to Eva Marie. Look what I got you. Here, this is yours. Not yours. How do you say it? This is yours. Yes. It's like yes, but yes. This is for you. I got this for yours. This is yours. Yeah, Austin thought it was going to be Shane also. I would have loved it to be Shane, man. I would have absolutely loved it. Courtney. Very, very happy. I wish I could share more of it, but all I'll say is this. You might remember, all of you, a while back I said, keep your thoughts and your prayers for Courtney Summers. Good friend of the show. She was going through some issues. And she battled and she overcame. And there are a few people responsible. She obviously is the number one reason. But man, some names out there, which we will keep off the show, but there are some angels out there in the wrestling world, and so happy for you. Seriously, really, really happy for you. Keep strong. I know you're not, completely back to 100%, but just keep doing what you're doing. Keep me updated. So I love it. Absolutely love it. We're almost at midnight. Couldn't have been any better. Love to hear that right near the end. By the way, what's going on? Okay. All right. This is Times Square. Man, what an absolute horrible camera. There's like 5 different news networks with this on their video. Why would you do that? All right, London, we've had enough of the replay. This kind of looks a little bit like replay. And this looks like replay. So we're going to keep it on here because the ball's going to be dropping in about 9 minutes, a little less than 9 minutes. So, yeah, that's EarthCam, Phillip Promoter. EarthCam has got some great stuff, but I question some of the stuff that they have today. I mean, they got a multi-view like this. They have a multi-view like this, but man, I'm like, why would you look at that middle one in the bottom? What's the purpose of that? Now, the one in the lower right-hand corner looks pretty cool. See where the mouse, you see, oh, I didn't even know my mouse was visible on there. But, man, why wouldn't you just show this screen? Because that's where the ball's going to be dropping, you know? But this has obviously got to switch over. It's got to switch over. We'll see. We'll see. But, Space Mountain, woo, woo. For all that are currently in a life career rut, he wishes a more prosperous 2021. Now, if you were truly in Ric Flair mode, you would tell them to go out and get a job. You know, you're in a rut. Too bad. I'm not. Woo! No, seriously. Wishes a prosperous 2021, and you're very welcome, my friend. You make it so easy to do this. And like I said, I've said this before. I know we don't have the biggest audience out there yet. I know about 80% of my audience still only access the shows via audio only. I understand why some people access audio only. You know, number one, data. Not everybody has unlimited data plans, so I totally get that. Some people work and enjoy the shows, and they can't be looking at a video, you know, the whole time. So it's a lot easier to just listen to an MP3 file. I totally get it. Absolutely get it. But I'm having a ball, and the show is growing as far as here. And, you know, and I'm fine if a majority of people tuning in still access audio only. It's when we get gentlemen like Papo that discovered the show now, you know, and enjoying it. That's what matters. That's what really matters. So seriously, thank you. Thank you for that. So, MK Dons 19, quiet New Year in the UK. Nice to see it again with us. Thanks for all the hard work. First pay-per-view he ever bought on video was Rock Bottom 98. Wondered what my thoughts were on it. Rock Bottom, look, back then they had themes for all of the big stars. D-Generation X had their own. You had Rock Bottom. 1998, I tell you, as an overall wrestling year, 1998 has got to be one of the biggest years of the Monday Night Wars. Believe it or not, my favorite year is 1995. And I know what a lot of you are going to say. Come on, WWF sucked in 1995. WCW wasn't full-blown in 1995. It was just, I was so deep into ECW and seeing the influence starting to carry over, not as far as WWE programming. It took them a year or two to really start, you know, trying to be extreme themselves and everything. But you would hear the chants at WWF shows. You would hear the buzz. You'd see the magazines covering it more. And it was just so fun. If there's any way to compare it right now, compare it to the people out there who are really deep into AEW, that absolutely love AEW. You're witnessing, you know, a promotion that is obviously a lot more responsible in the management and the fundage department than ECW was. Sure, AEW might not be as revolutionary of what ECW was, but we're in a different era now. I mean, a lot of things, if ECW were to try to do it now, you'd have lawsuits, you'd have, you know, just crazy, crazy ass shit going on. Cancer culture? You imagine how many people they would call for their heads? So 1998 overall was one of my favorite years. 95 is my favorite, but 98 was an awesome year. My favorite ECW pay-per-view, other than Barely Legal, was a Heatwave 98. Just from beginning to end, for some reason about that pay-per-view, I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Shout out to John. Shout out to John. Much love, my friend. Anthony Diaz, talk about Chris Honey, we only have about 3.5 minutes. Get the bottle. Don't start playing shit now. Just get the bottle. She's no-selling me. Anthony Diaz, talk about the Chris Cash New Jack incident. The short story of it, back in 2005, when I wanted to do full-blown podcasting, but I didn't want to have to do all the behind-the-scenes stuff myself. There was a guy by the name of Chris Cash. You might remember something in Ballyhoo. I don't remember the name of it exactly, but Vince Russo was involved in the project not too long ago. Chris Cash, I believe, was involved in that. Something in Ballyhoo, something like that. Anyway, Chris Cash was like a college guy at the time, and I give him credit because he created a website called Fan Talk Live. And basically what he did was he would record podcasts for people, and he would stream it live online. And people would pay a couple of dollars a month, and they would be hosted on Fan Talk Live. We were on there, other shows were on there, and he made a nice little living over it. The problem is that he was a little bit immature. He interviewed Steve Austin once or twice. He would walk around his school bragging to everyone he had Steve Austin's number on his Rolodex, what he would say. He would brag about other things as well. And then one time he did an interview with New Jack. And before the show started, he said to New Jack, he says, I want to do a little storyline with you. During our podcast or interview, I want to call you the N-word. And New Jack just totally flipped off on him. I will, in the very near future, post that Masked Maniac episode with myself and the Masked Maniac interviewing New Jack. New Jack tells the whole story. I'd rather you hear it from his words. He will tell you the whole story from that episode. But that's what happened. Chris Cash thought that he could do a storyline with New Jack calling New Jack the N-word. And the rest is history. Absolutely stupid on his part. Dumb. Honey, we're only a minute and 15 seconds. Oh, I didn't realize the earth cam was all screwy. There's fireworks going in the background over here. So, all right. We'll Phillip, Maffei, come on over. He has a good feeling about 2021, 2020, toward us, who the real people are and who aren't. Happy almost New Year, and thank you for all the shows, especially this year, because the shows helped him get through a lot. Thank you, Phillip. Phillip, I will add some kind words to what you said in a moment, because we are 40 seconds away. Man, this sucks. Look at this. How do you have Earth Cam and there's no ball dropping? All right, here we go. Oh, wait, what? Why are they showing a commercial? Oh, there we go. Here, come on over.
Open it.
Come on over.
No, I'm camera shy.
That's okay. You can come on over. They can hear you. Come in. Come over. So we got some Prosecco over here. So that is your glass.
Sanitize your hands.
Yes, my hands are sanitized. So, so you want to wave to everybody?
Hi.
So, yes,
Please don't aim that at me.
that is my better half. So we're opening this live. Oh shit! It's midnight. Wait a minute. The ball dropped already. Wait a minute. What the hell? What was that?
I'm going back to sleep.
What was that? All right.
Where's my strawberries? I'm just kidding.
Okay, that's for you.
Why, thank you.
This is for mine. We got plastic, just in case I drop
class. It. Fine china.
Hey, come on here in the picture.
Is it already New Year's? Look at the
Hold on. I have to add something to this.
What the hell
Hold
did
on.
you just give me? How little this is.
Just a little?
You
All
gave
right.
me just a little bit. You know I like this. Okay, honey.
Okay, hold on. I got it. Put a little music back over here. So, from Tanya and myself, we wish each and every one of you out there a happy New Year. Come on over.
What?
Come
this
here.
is the world. I don't look great.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Cheers.
Love you,
Cheers.
bitch.
Love you too.
Okay, can I go?
2020's over.
Oh, thank God. What a disastrous year. We just should be glad that we actually are alive. but I don't know. Let's hope that the next year or this year actually is something worthwhile. Honey, set a date already.
I know.
I love you.
I love you too. All right, go back inside.
Call your mom before she starts.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Want me to close the door?
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just doing a little diamond painting.
Okay. Hold on. I'm just gonna call my mom really quick.
I love you.
Love you too. Say Happy New Year.
Can I ask you first?
Hello.
Hi, Ma.
Hi, Aunt. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Were you sleeping?
No, just
Happy New
laying
Year,
in bed,
Pauline.
you know.
Love you.
Oh,
I hear a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
yeah. All right. I just wanted to wish you Happy New Year.
Okay.
All right.
Stood up this late, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep in about an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it just, it's not the same with nobody in the city, but I hear lots of fireworks going off right now.
Yeah, by you?
Yeah.
I didn't
Oh,
hear
there's some
the
people in the city. I'm looking at pictures right now. There's some people.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
what's Daddy
All right.
doing?
Nothing. He's right here. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Happy New
Hey,
Year.
Happy New Year. So, 2020's over.
Yeah, everybody's alone.
I know. So, well, get a good night's sleep, and I'll see you probably Friday. Well, I'll probably see you with the bird then.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Put Mommy back on.
Hello?
Yeah. Freddie sleeping?
All right, Aunt. What?
Freddie sleeping?
Freddy's inside, yes.
Yeah, all right. I'll talk to you in the morning.
All right.
All right, good night, Ma.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Is the music too loud? Yeah, she sounded like she was sleeping a little bit, so everyone, seriously, much love. 2020 was extremely hard for everybody out there. Man, ooh, did you hear that? It sounded like dynamite. 2020, I mean, I don't have nothing prepared, and I'm not going to start making any speeches over here. But even when you put COVID aside, you see all the unrest, you see the tragedy of George Floyd and, Breonna Taylor and everything else that we've come through. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy. And, writing tweets or Facebook posts, we should all do better, we should be better, and this and that. I think the number one New Year's resolution for everybody out there, for a lot of people out there, not everybody, for a lot of people, it's not losing weight. It's not getting in shape. It's not quitting smoking. It's not, for a lot of people, their New Year's resolution should be to stop blaming others for what happens to them. And I fall victim to it as well. You can't find something. Oh, where did you put it? Where did this? Or something happens to you. Oh, it's this person's fault. Oh, I don't have this. Well, it's this person's fault. I wish people would take responsibility more for their own actions. It's not healthy to see what's going on in this world. It's not healthy to see what's going on in New York City and Chicago and everywhere else. And, there's got to be, and COVID makes it worse because people are emotionally spent. I mean, just with the businesses closing and just all I say to every one of you out there is please, stay strong, just stay focused, and you do your part. None of us are going to be able to change the world. There's nothing I can do that is going to make this world a better place. There's nothing that you all get, but you can make your immediate surroundings a better place. You treat people like you want to be treated. You don't just tweet it, get 100 likes, and then, in the real world, the total opposite. You see so many people out there that support animal rights, and they're the biggest abusers out there. There's so many people that are supporters of Me Too, and they're the biggest sexual abusers around. It's almost like they got to convince themselves that they're not the bad person. But thank you, Mystery Man. I appreciate that. Seriously. I've said many times when I do these shows, it's like Christmas. every time I do it. Like, I get excited. I really do. After, this is going to be, I started in 97. So this is my 24th year or 25th. If you go WWE's math, you know, it's technically 25 because you got 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. This is my 25th year doing this. I'm fucking old, but I still get excited doing it, and I still enjoy myself. And without you supporting it, I'd be talking to myself. So I tell you, you say that you're enjoying tonight's episode. Obviously, we won't be dropping a ball next week, but, you know, Happy New Year, everyone. You know, I think for a lot of people, January 1st, January 2nd, January 3rd is going to feel an awful lot like December 31st. It's not going to change tomorrow, but, you know, you've gone this far, we could get to the finish line. So, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Psycho, I'm old. If I really want to make myself feel old, this is how I could say it. I'm in my 4th decade doing this, if you want to be technical. 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. But I have fun, and as long as you keep tuning in, I will still be there, you know, doing whatever I can. You know, I think the only thing that's going to stop me is if she gives me an ultimatum one day, which I hope she doesn't, or I get sick, or something happens to me. That's really, I mean, because there's always time to do this. You know, doing a podcast is not brain surgery. If you have a means of talking and a means of listening, anybody out there could do a podcast in 5 minutes. I mean, it's not brain surgery, but, you know, doing it and being reliable and being credible. And also, and this is probably important too, you know, it is important, being able to accept criticism, being able to have people go against you. Because I talk about stuff in wrestling all the time, and a lot of you out there will totally disagree. And you can't do a show and just for cake and ice cream, because there are going to be people that are going to challenge you for certain views. There are going to be people that are going to, you know, go totally against, and you can't get triggered over it. You got to be able to stand by your views, even if it's an unpopular one. That's why even Bruce Mitchell, you know, he didn't stand by his view, because if he was so standing by what he said about Luke Harper, surroundings of his passing, I said it the other day, he would have reposted his column on Twitter. His Twitter's not owned by The Torch. He never reposted his own column. He reposted everything else, but he never posted the column. Maybe he has by now. But if you really stand by what you say, you don't delete it. And he's going to try to make himself come off as the victim. It's almost like another weird version of Joey Ryan. Only Joey Ryan is a sexy guy, and Bruce Mitchell... She's laughing. But thank you, Phillip, man. I really appreciate that. So, more lighthearted. He'll take the stupid WWF gimmicks like the Stalker, Barry Windham. Awesome. I like the Stalker gimmick. When he was in the woods and he had the green makeup and everything, I tell you, my favorite gimmick. Look, you could say Undertaker, obviously, but my favorite gimmick from the mid-90s that I wish would have went further, that didn't. And I've said this for years and years and years. When Bray Wyatt came onto the scene, I thought it was a rebirth of it. And then you had Mercy the Buzzard paying tribute to him as well. You know what I mean? Waylon Mercy. Freaking loved Waylon Mercy. Never forget that match. He fought Jeff Hardy. I don't know if it was 1995. He fought Jeff Hardy, I think, on Raw. Waylon Mercy. And Waylon Mercy put him in a submission move. And I give Jeff Hardy so much credit, because at that time he was still a jobber, a kid. And you'll see his facial reaction. Like, he looked like he was having the life choked out of him. Wishing a family happy new year. So, but Waylon Mercy was awesome. Oh my God. I always thought Waylon Mercy, when he had his hair pushed back, I always thought he looked like Steve Austin. There is an infamous pose of Waylon Mercy with the tank top, with a pair of jeans, sitting like on a stoop in front of someone's house. I'm sure some of you have seen that picture before. You look at that picture and you'll do a double take. You'll say, that's Steve Austin. Waylon Mercy, Dan Spivey looked a lot like Steve Austin in the 90s. It was funny because when Dan Spivey was in the WWF in the 80s, the way he moved and his size and even the way he dressed, it looked a little bit like Hulk Hogan a little bit. Anybody remember when Spivey, I think he wore the yellow trunks and he had his hair like Hogan's? I mean, he didn't have the stash or anything, but at some points he looked like he was trying to portray Hogan a little bit. But Spivey was legit. Spivey was a badass. He was a badass. Not every look, not every gimmick in 95. Yeah.
Can I get a refill, please?
Yeah, take the bottle.
This is good.
Take the bottle. Yeah. Enjoy.
I'll be getting drunk by me paying.
I'll be in a minute. We're almost done. But, Neil Ray. Neil Ray, I am just here by proxy. I'm just here by proxy. But Neil Ray wanted me to wish everybody in the chat a Happy New Year. Much love, everyone out there. I don't know. I don't know if we should keep this on. I'm trying to see if there's any good footage. Let's see if there's anything popping up. And let's see. Here's one. Let's see. No, that sucks. This might be live. This might be live. No, it's probably not. These are, you know how many channels claim to have been live and they were just on like a loop? This might be a loop. But you know what? It's nice to look at, so we'll leave it on. We'll leave it on for a few minutes. So, Ken, TerminatedbyDQ, Happy New Year to the good guys like Lion 2012, FT Gagiano, yours truly, and others who have always greeted him. And for me, thank you for telling him to mute the haters. I'm telling you, you got to mute them. I know. I tell people on Discord all the time. I know you feel like if you mute someone, then you can't see what they're saying about you. Trust me when I tell you, within a day or two, this is advice for all of you out there, whether you're on a Discord channel, whether you're on Twitter, whether you're on this chat room or somewhere else. You got people that are starting shit with you. It's not worth getting into a verbal battle with them. Number one, you're just feeding into it. And number two, there is no winner. And my advice to you is mute them. Mute them. Mute them. It's hard to resist. Oh, if I mute him, then I don't know what he's saying about me. That's okay. After a day or two, you don't miss it anymore. I deleted recently 100 people that I followed on Twitter. It was nothing personal. Some people I did shows with, I unfollowed them on Twitter. Nothing personal. But the reason why I did was because, and I brought this up a year and a half ago, I muted about 80% of everybody I followed on Twitter. Because what I found myself happening to me is I'd log on to Twitter. I see if, whoever contacted me, I try to respond to everybody on Twitter. But then I look at my feed and I see people talking about how disgusting it is that somebody threw a dog out of their car while it was driving. And they post the footage of it. They talk about somebody getting knifed in a subway, how disgusting and terrible it is, and we shouldn't acknowledge these whack jobs. And they post footage of it. And then there's only so much you keep reading over and over again about, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me, the world sucks, this sucks, this sucks. And it was very depressing. And little by little, I would just mute people. Not trying to be disrespectful, but I didn't want that negativity popping up on my wall all the time. It was very, very draining to log on. And there's no more laughing. The laughing is making fun of people. And then when people get called down on it, no, I was just joking around. It's all lightheartedness, this and that. That is some whacked out mixed messages, man. Because someone will make a joke about someone, make fun of someone or a group or whatever. And if they get 50 people to laugh with them, then it's everybody laughing at the group. But if you get a couple of people that respond back saying, you know, that's fucked up and this and that, then all of a sudden, oh no, I wasn't joking. You're not joking when people get mad. But when people laugh with you, then it's okay. I couldn't deal with that. I had somebody on a Q&A last week say to me, DT, you come across as much more positive the last couple of months. What changed? And I've evolved in a lot of my views. A lot of things have changed. The way I look at the world, you know, my dissatisfaction with Trump, with a lot of other things. But I'm trying my hardest. I'm really trying to block out all that negative noise because you get caught into that. And that's when I get into the 30-minute conversations on these shows talking about it. And people are like, man, we don't want to hear that. So that's what changed. But seriously, mute those people. They're talking about you behind your back. Good. They're the goofs. You're not. Shout out to Jay Carlos. Happy New Year, my friend. Much love, my friend. All the best. All the best. I wish I could open my window right now. There is so much fireworks going on in my neighborhood right now. It's awesome. Look, I said it earlier at the beginning of the show, and I'll say it again here now. At the end of the day, January 1st, 24 hours from now, 23 hours from now, at the end of the day, you're going to say, not much change since December 31st. Yeah. But the one thing you got to hold on to right now is hope. All those fireworks, that's hope. That's not, oh, thank you, 2021. If you look at it like that, you know what that looks like? It looks like a person who is in an abused relationship that got beat up, spit on, mentally abused, physically abused, and then they meet someone else. And just because that person doesn't abuse them, they're the greatest person in the world. 2020 was the abuser. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden 2021 is going to sweep that person off their feet and they're going to be happily ever after. Great. No, that's not the case. But all these fireworks, all the kind words in the chat, the toast, this is hope. That's what it is. This is hope. Here's hoping to a better year for all of us out there. Take the chicken shit and try to turn it into chicken salad as much as you can. Not going to always succeed. Not everything you do is going to end up in results. But, you will get results. And trust me, when you get those results, it'll feel so good. It'll feel so good. Spending New Year's Eve. Oh, this is Mish. Look at this. Look at this.
Happy New Year, DT.
Oh, you sound whack drunk.
No, I wish I was.
Everybody's saying Happy New Year right now. We're still live, and we just toasted
awesome.
Yeah. So, just wonderful tonight. We've been doing this now about a little over 3 hours. Oh, no, about a little over 2 hours, and just some great, real conversation. Nothing controversial, no shade, just absolute fun, man.
Good.
So, how you doing?
Good. I wish I was there. I wish I was on, but I'm busy here drinking Jaeger all night at the adult pajama party.
Yeah, you did an adult pajama party. Now, was it adult as in negligee or was it an adult as in bloomers?
Yeah, more like bloomers.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude, we're not all sexy and shit.
Oh,
We're people in our
man.
40s. Come on now. Good Lord.
Well, Happy New Year, my friend. Much love.
Happy New Year, DT. I love everybody in the fucking chat. Thank you guys for supporting the fuck out of us.
Yeah, no,
And,
man. Look, thank you
man.
for being there for me. And, I'm here for you all the time. And I promise you tomorrow I'll send you those photos. I didn't forget. Today was just a lot.
I probably won't be doing too much work tomorrow anyway, so.
Well, you know what? Before you go, there's something else I wanted to tell you.
All right.
Nothing. That was a fart. I broke wind. She heard it inside. She's like, ah. Yeah. Much love, my friend.
Much love, DT. Take it easy.
All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Happy New Year.
All right, Happy New Year, my friend.
All right, buddy.
Take care. I don't know. I felt that coming. I usually don't get guests like that when it comes to him. So. Oh, man, that's cool. So, yeah, Mish has my cell number, by the way. He's one of the few. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. I know, Benjamin, it's disgusting. It's the champagne talking. This is probably like the fourth or fifth sip of champagne I've had in about 3 years. So, no, I have the suit jacket on, so it didn't penetrate the suit, so we don't have to worry. But good. I'm glad Mish is having fun. He went to an adult pajama party today. Basically, they were showing like, I guess it wasn't like a lingerie like Victoria's Secret. It was more of like, you ever see that commercial where they have like the pajamagrams and stuff? That's probably what it was. They were advertising like the ones with the feet, where you have like a whole one piece. That's probably not what he was expecting it to be. But no, it was dry, man. It was dry. So I'm sorry for being a little bit gross. It was just fun. So apparently I had 2 dislikes on the channel today. Trust me, I get a chuckle because I know who one is, because the person is always live on Discord, and I could tell by the status. And on our Discord channel, when I release like the video, like coming later tonight or whatever it is, and it posts an alert on Discord. And I've showed Mish before. We've had a good laugh over it. The minute it pops up on Discord, Mish and I will reload the YouTube page like over and over and over for about a minute. And sure enough, every time within 30 to 45 seconds, a dislike pops up. So it's pretty funny. And look, if some people are petty like that, you're not going to change them. I'm not going to change them. So if that's how people hold a gripe, if that's how they think they're, got to let that go, man. I've let it go. So the bastards, like Darren says, bastards. So anyway, I think we should start wrapping this up a little bit. If anybody has any last minute questions, I think I covered everybody who chatted tonight. Much love. Darren officially liked the video. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I had a ball tonight, man. And like I said, next week is not going to be New Year's, so the show will have a much different vibe. But I realize now that we don't need a New Year's Eve. We don't need a holiday. We don't need a death. We don't need a tribute. We don't need a tragedy to have just great regular conversation. We had so many different topics we talked about tonight, if you actually think about it. And I am really excited to see where this goes on Thursdays going forward. Now, this is not to bring everybody down, but definitely before this show is over, I'd like to spend a moment just to mention the names of those who we lost in the wrestling world this year, or 2020. Now, I could include people like Regis, and others, but I'm talking about pro wrestlers. If I left anybody out, please let me know, and I will make sure to mention them on Friday. Holy shit, I got another show, not even 24 hours from now. We got the Don Tony show Friday night, covered SmackDown. We're not going to get ratings probably till Monday as far as Wednesday shows go. I'm not really, the quarter-hour ratings don't really matter to me, but I'm curious to see if there was any spikes or declines on either side during the night. But I want to just, for a moment, mention those who we lost in 2020. And again, if there's anybody that I left out, because I'm sure there's an indie guy here and there that I might have left out, but I want to just read the list that I've compiled in 2020. And I will do it in alphabetical order. Adam Bueller, we lost in 2020. Aris El Guerrero, Big Slam, Bullet Bob Armstrong, Bobby Lee, Danny Havoc, Danny Hodge, 88, Dick Steinborn, Hana Kimura, that was terrible, John Huber, Brody Lee, Luke Harper, Herodes, Howard Finkel, Johnny Walker, Justice Payne, Kamala, Karsten Beck, Kat LaRue, Kazuyo Sakurada, Kevin Green. I put him in that category. He did enough in WCW to pay tribute. LaParca, 2. Mark Rocco, Mike Somayani. You know, I put Bob Ryder in there. I know he never wrestled, but Bob Ryder was one of the founding fathers of TNA. Without Bob Ryder, TNA would not have started in the way that it did. So I have said a lot of things about Bob Ryder over the years, but I've mentioned this before. For the last 2 years, some people that still work for Impact, and some who no longer work for Impact, especially over the last 2 years, said to me, you know, why do you dislike him so much? And, you know, I would explain a little bit, but the more, I mean, I only had 3 or 4 people ask me this in 2 years. But the more I would try to explain it, the more I would say to myself, Frank Goodman should be mad at him, not me. Why am I mad at this guy? And people would tell me, like, he's really a nice guy. He's not a bad guy. And that's why that's another thing in 2021. As much as Bruce Mitchell, you know, is being scrutinized for what he said, I really want to go through 2021 without making fun of Mike Johnson, without cracking jokes about Wade Keller, without cracking jokes about Bruce Mitchell, which I really don't, if you think about it. But I want to leave all those guys alone. Seriously. About time I grow up a little bit. We could joke about other people, you know, harmlessly. Not, like I said with the social media thing earlier, I don't take part in that formula. Pampiro Firpo, Pat Patterson, Principe Ario, that was sad. His was tragic. Puppet, remember the midget Puppet? Rip Oliver, Road Warrior Animal, Rocky Johnson, Ryan Smile, Shad Gaspard, Steve Casey, Steve Gillespie, Supreme. Nice man. Never got to know him that well, but the times I was around him in XPW, quiet. I told it before. I'll never forget. There was one night after the second or third XPW event in Philly, everybody was hanging out in my hotel room. And I remember clear as day, Vic Rhymes on my bed cutting promos, Jerry Lynn, and I think either Kid Chaos or Danny Doring doing a chop contest, chopping each other in the chest to see who would cry uncle first. And then they didn't cry uncle. I'm just saying that phrase. And I remember Supreme just sitting in a corner. I think he had glasses on. I don't know why I remember little things like that. Quiet, quiet, quiet. Wonderful guy from what I saw. Silvano Sousa, the Bruiser, Tim Brooks, Zeus, Tiny Lister, Tony Russo, Tracy Smothers, Wayne Bridges, Wiona Littleheart, Xavier. Xavier was awesome. Can't tell you how many times I saw that guy wrestle here in the Northeast. That guy should not have been taken this too young. Can't tell you how many people idolized that guy in the early to mid 2000s. Xavier, Jesus Christ. I had the privilege of working a couple of shows that he was on as well. Obviously, I'm all the way at the bottom and he's all the way at the top. But, man, that was a good guy. And last but not least, Z-Bar, which I know a lot of you remember as well. So, I don't know if I left anybody out. That's the list I compiled over the year. And Andre Corbia, what's up, my friend? Andre, you know we're doing some type of episode or two in 2021. He's one of the people I've shouted out many times in 2020. We are definitely going to be chewing the fat in 2021. So, yeah, man, it's going to be awesome. I'm telling you, I told you, I don't blow smoke. 2021 is going to be a good year. 2020, we just touched the surface as far as, getting the feel over here. It's almost like driving. You got, right? I got my learner's permit right now. Now I go for the driver's license, but we're going to have some great combo in 2021. Happy New Year, Andre. Much love. I hope you're doing well. I do pass by your YouTube channel. The other day, what was it? Like Rambo? What the hell was that? I go on his channel and he's dressed, I think, like Rambo. And I'm like, okay, he looks like he's having fun. So I do look. I don't talk sometimes. I just browse. But hope you're doing well. Mitchell's Moments. What's up, Mitchell's? Jamie Viquera. Psycho 187. King of Hueco Mundo. I love that. Nice analogy. James Pasco. Shouting out some names I didn't shout out earlier. Nice analogy. Michael Gonzalez. Benjamin. Much love, much love. Yes, Andre. I saw it. Rambo. Rambo was a great movie when it came out. Was that the movie? No, wait. I'm the disease. You're the cure. No, you're the disease. I'm the cure. No, that might have been the biker movie or something. I don't remember what movie it was. Cobra? Was it Cobra? You're the disease. I'm the cure. Anyway. So that is my tribute to those who we lost in 2020. It's a pretty big list. Especially when you think about it. Not a lot of people on that list died because of COVID. It's a pretty deep list when you think about it. Man. Jody, I am going to talk Impact on Friday. I have lined up, I'm going to get into the meet and greet that they have coming up that actually looks pretty cool. The current lineup for Hard to Kill. Talk a little bit more about Omega and what's going on currently. Their next episode is going to be a lot better. The best ofs, okay, they got by the 2 weeks. I'll tell you right now, Impact right now has got to be, and I'm not trying to be a jerk when I say this. The Brody Lee passing kept fans, I don't want to say busy, but it allowed everybody to focus, to pay tribute this week. So those two best of episodes that Impact did now don't look so bad because one of them, even if they would have progressed storylines, our minds and our hearts were not into it. So they're back to business next week. Things will be picking up quickly and we'll see where it goes. Next week, I expect Impact Wrestling to invade AEW Dynamite. They have to. At minimum, you need Schwann and maybe Gallows and Anderson too, but you have to have somebody from Impact show up on Dynamite next week. Otherwise, this whole storyline is just shoddy, really shoddy. So, anyway, yeah, Andre says he lost a lot of interest in Impact. I think Impact's biggest problem in 2020 was they relied too much on their Wrestle House to get through COVID. And I give them a pass because it was COVID. And for me, I'd rather see some wrestling than none at all. But Wrestle House early on, fun idea, looked a little bit interesting. Some of the characters, you saw some things, and then it's like, oh, we could just do, and they spent way too much time on it. And they did so many skits around it that I don't know, it just felt like it kept jumping the shark over and over and over and over again. But you know what? 2021, this vaccine will be more available in the next couple of months. I told you, I stay away from politics unless you force it out of me. But I've said before, I'm obviously not thrilled at seeing Biden and Harris being put in. But the one thing I will say, that I truly believe that once Biden is put in office later January, this month, now we're in January, I think one of the first things he is going to do is get this vaccine available to everybody immediately, almost immediately. That is the way he steals Trump's thunder about this vaccine. Look, this vaccine already being out is a medical miracle because vaccines usually take years to develop. So the fact that it's out at all is a big deal. But Biden has to steal some of Trump's thunder. It's only logical. The way he does that is, no, we need young people to get vaccinated because they're the ones that unfortunately are giving it to mama and grandma and neighbor and, co-worker and fellow person in the post office and supermarket. That's how it gets transmitted more than anything else. Somebody old gets it, doesn't walk around bingo hall and no, that's how the pattern happens. You're going to see that vaccine, I think, by March. You're going to see so many people getting it. And they got to lift the restrictions. New York is a lost cause, man. If the vaccine becomes available for younger people where I qualify, if I have to go to Florida to get it, I will. If I have to go to Connecticut to get it, I will. If I have to pay somebody under the table to get it, I will. Because if I'm vaccinated, then I don't have to worry about giving it to somebody that I know. But I'm willing to wait because I take precautions. But am I wrong, Austin? I'm not wrong. I mean, you look at how people get it and how it's transmitted. You don't ever hear really elderly people giving it to elderly people. Come here. That's not how it happens. It's mostly young people careless. And I understand the mentality. When you're told that you have a 99.99% chance of recovering, you don't think all that much about the possibility of giving it to a elderly loved one. You treat it like, oh, if I meet somebody in a club and I sleep with them and I get some type of STD, I get a needle and I'll be better the next day. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, it doesn't work that way. But that's what it is. In New York, all these restaurants, you can't do indoor dining. I'll leave you with this before I go. Even though most of you live outside of New York, just want to explain how moronic our state has treated this virus as far as indoor dining goes. You've seen some of the footage of me at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. What we were doing as a running joke is every time we sat down to eat something, we took a picture of each other having a drink. And each phrase was different. Cheers, bottoms up, down the hatch. That was us saying hello to everybody out there. But if you notice the surroundings, there was plexiglass between each booth. There was different lighting above us. They had plastic covering some areas. Do you know, to this day, New York never told restaurants, put plexiglass between booths, block off certain areas here, put this, change the lighting. They never put that as a guideline. They just wanted to shut it all down. Because if they would have put that as a guideline, then you would have had all these restaurants saying, but look, I'm doing everything right. I put plexiglass. I did this. I did that. I did this. Why am I being shut down? That's why they never advised that as a requirement. Because if people followed that, then it'd be harder for New York to shut them down. Long Island. Long Island is only 15 minutes where I live. Long Island still has indoor dining. Why? You go into a restaurant in Long Island, they have plexiglass. They took precautions. And for the most part, you know, it's not an issue in the restaurants. It's all about power, man. Cerebral 619. Much love, my friend. Mexico, your New Year was what, about 4 hours ago? It was a couple of hours ago, right? Happy New Year, my friend. Happy New Year. Much love. 2021, man. 2021. Keep the faith. Keep hope. 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 Like I said, those fireworks that you're watching, the toast that we're having, all the kind words we're sharing tonight, we're not trying to convince ourselves that things are great now or they're going to be better. No, it's hope. It's hope. Thank you, Sam, for the kind words. Thank you. Raider Dre, 420. Tuning in from Colorado. Colorado. Your New Year hasn't happened yet, right? Don't you have it in a few minutes? Is it 1 a.m. or 2 a.m.? What's Colorado? I don't know if this works. Hey, Siri. No, nothing. I never use my Siri. So, do you know I have a customer that comes in to my office every week, not about an insurance, not to make a payment, not to give me more business, but he'll walk in with his phone and he'll be like, I can't get Siri to work. I swear to God. I got to hit record once so you can see this guy come in. He's about 80 years old, and he doesn't even know how to use a phone. And when he dials, he does this. FT, it's 8 a.m. where he's at. Man, you got to get some sleep. I got to get some sleep too, because I got my little bird being delivered over here on Friday. My father's dropping them off to later today because they're leaving for Florida Sunday, and they usually want a day or two without the bird so they could pack and they could get, you know, other stuff done. So I got him coming later, and then Friday night we got the Don Tony show. So I will be back here in about 22 hours. So everyone, I'm going to jet out of here, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of the evening. I want to thank you for spending a few hours and reigning in the new year with myself. For those out there who it has not hit midnight yet, I wish you all the best. Happy New Year, much love, and stay strong. 2021 has got to be a better year for all of us, and I wish you nothing but the best, nothing but the best. So if you're around Friday night, January 1st, 2021, 10:05 p.m. Eastern, right after SmackDown, join me here. We'll talk about SmackDown. We'll talk a little bit Impact Wrestling. We'll get into whatever discussions you want to talk about. Friday, obviously, will be a pretty easy night. We had some great combo here tonight. And it looks like that I will be back here next Thursday. So we just got to figure out the time. Do we leave it at 10? Do we maybe start at 9? Maybe 8? You know, so actually, you know what? That's what I'd love. If you could do this for me tonight, I'd really appreciate it. If you are interested in, because we are going to do this every Thursday. I could see it. I mean, even if we just have an hour combo about nothing. But if you are looking forward to future Thursdays together, let me know in the comment section what time you want this to start. I'm going to leave it simple, and I'm going to keep it in a 3-hour time frame. We either start at 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern, or 10 p.m. Eastern. So you let me know, and I will see, because I know a lot of you also live out of the country, out of the United States. So 8 p.m. might still be a little bit of a reasonable time, because where you are might be like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. But let me know. Let me know 8, 9, or 10 p.m. And I'll see what kind of response we get, and then I'll make an announcement next week as far as what time. I mean, we could rotate too. I mean, there's no reason why I can't do 8 p.m. next week, 10 p.m. the week after. I just think it's better to keep a set time so everybody gets used to the schedule. But post it in the comment section. Don't just post it in the chat. I see what everybody's writing right now, and it's very mixed. We got votes for 8, votes for 9. 10 actually doesn't seem too popular. There's only 1 vote for 10. So it looks like 8 or 9. So actually, you know what? Let's leave it at that. In the comment section, let me know. 8 p.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. Eastern. So we will stick on that. I don't think Wrestling Soup is still on at 8 o'clock. If Mish still goes at 8, and I know what some of you are going to say, well, there are Patreon shows that are on Thursday night as well. Right, but Patreon is only limited to a very small number of people. Wrestling Soup is a show that's available for everybody worldwide when it's live. I don't want to overlap Wrestling Soup. If Wrestling Soup ends after 8 normally, I'll talk to Mish tomorrow about it, but the more I think about this, the more it sounds like it may be 9 p.m. Eastern going forward. But we'll see. We'll see. But it looks like it may be 9, but still send me feedback. Let me know what's easier for all of you out there, and we'll work it out. So, all right, everybody. Had a great night tonight. You know, we'll do it again in 364 days. I think it's 364, but Happy New Year. Thank you for tuning in. Much love as always. And I will catch you all again Friday night, January 1st, 2021, 10:05 p.m. Eastern. So much love, everybody. Good night. I bid you farewell, and I see you all Friday night. Ciao, everybody.